Have a good game, everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Duff TV here at Eady Street in the heartland of cricket in Glenorchy. It's SCA T20 first grade grand final. There are the Knights. Wellington just to the left of them. Joining me in the commentary box, I'm Aaron Peach Roberts. We've got Chris Hobbo Hobson, the Vice President, a very energetic Chris. G'day, Chris. How you going?
I'm good, Peachy. Thanks for having me again here today. It's a perfect day, apart from a little bit of wind, but hopefully
we used to win in Hobart. Used to win down here, aren't we?
Oh, it's terrible.
Hey, mate, you've done a bit of scouting around. You've also done some interviews. So we're going to throw to an interview you did at the toss with the Wellington captain and also the Knights captain.
Okay, in the air, thanks, Nate. Tail. It's the tail. We'll have that, thank you. All right, is that all the best one?
With that, guys, Wellington has won the toss and have elected to bat. First of all, we'll just ask Nathan, what's your go with batting first?
I just personally think runs on the board come finals is a massive thing. You set the foundation early, set the tone early. It's a bit of danger. These blokes have chased down big scores. They've only lost really one game all year, and that's the team they batted first. So we've gone against that, and we're going to try back ourselves, our ability. So
now, you guys have the firepower, no doubt about that. Yourself in fine form. You got Wayne Quarrell playing, Isaac Manson coming in that could also hit down the bottom. Is the idea to just start off quickly and then cash in at the end, or just go from ball one?
I just think you pick your targets. I think the first 6 overs is obviously the field's up, you play your shots, you don't play nothing stupid if it's not there, and then the middle orders we sort of consolidate, and then obviously have fielding power at the end. That's our plan.
Well, good luck for the rest of the game, mate, and talk to you later.
Well, we just had to cut away because we're ready to get stuck into this grand final. Chris, your thoughts? I mean, obviously, a big game in the semi-finals there. Both teams making it through last week. They had tough and comfortable victories. Last time these two teams met, it was a commanding performance from the bowlers from Wellington. What are you expecting today, Chris?
I'm actually expecting a bit more. I'd like to see the Knights bowlers stand up a bit more. Like the firepower that Wellington have is quite strong,
yep.
Especially with Nathan Webb out there, Nathan Muir. Muir's in fine form, scoring 100 after 100. There's not much to stop him, but looking like Matty McConnell's got the ball first up, so he's going to have to be pretty well spot on first. No loose balls, because they will punish him from ball one.
Now, those viewers at home, the ground slopes from right to left, so it slopes down towards the village cinemas quite probably about 1 metre to 2 metres, so that is the scoring side. The breeze, what is it, coming kind of over our shoulders. McConnell has a bit of a balked run in. We're right behind here. We might call this the mountain end of the ground, and maybe the, what do you reckon, the other end there, the river end of the ground there, Chris, might make sense. I'm not sure the traditional names here at Eady Street.
Probably go the Showgrounds main road end.
There we go, Showground main road end. So McConnell, take 2, first ball, SCA grand final. So there's that short boundary straight away. It's going to be on here, and that's a boundary to kick it off.
That's straight to his bread and butter. Anything square of the wicket on the offside, especially over covers, Webb will punish you.
Tell you what, McConnell was a little bit slow coming in. I know he's got a bit more pace than that. What are your thoughts, though, coming in from this end? I've bowled on this end a couple of times. I don't feel like it's the best end to bowl from if you're opening up.
It is there a bit of a lump coming in towards the pitch where the umpire's actually certain dooring, but the way the breeze is going straight across the pitch, it should actually go well for his outswing.
Yep.
He just needs to let the ball get up there, do the work.
So slip in place and nearly into the game then. There's a delivery that was a little bit fuller from McConnell, but Webb still pretty engaged to try and smack that through backward point.
Yeah, he's got leaving nothing in the team today, Nathan. He's not been playing many games this year. I think he's only just played 2020s. So it's his bread and butter if he can get out there and get a good start for the boys.
So there's that fuller ball again, but there's a player out there sweeping and he's missed.
Further.
I think that went through his legs maybe down there. I'm not sure who that was at the deep cover point. Tell you what though, that was a full toss and that was smacked through that area and rocketed into the fence.
If Andrew Simons was here, that's actually -3 to the Knights already. That should have been just a single out there to deep cover.
Yeah, just didn't get, you know what, that was hit so hard. I don't think the fielder out there could get his hands down. I think that was a little loose. And McConnell, once again, he's going to get another chance to redeem himself.
There we go. It's a better fielding effort, that one. Just lobs the ball into the bowler and a quick single.
So this attack from the Knights, they've got to do a bit of work against such an aggressive lineup, a Wellington team which has got so much quality. Is Clive Rose maybe going to open up at the other end? It might suit him from that end.
Depends how if he wants to get that drift across or into the right-handers, probably with the best end. But maybe this end where McConnell's bowling from might be his. But you might want to actually see how he goes first to see what happens.
All right, so once again, thanks to the Southern Cricket Association. Great job here. Bit of a change to the format for the T20 Grand Finals. They were weekends last year, but due to COVID shortened season, they've popped them back into the afternoon or evening time. So it worked well, hasn't it, Chris?
It has. I prefer to see weekends, but with COVID, we've just had to do what we can do.
A little bit better, isn't it, when the sun's coming down? I know the sun is going to play a little bit of a role, though the mountain will shield a little bit. That's the end of the first over. A couple of boundaries, there was a misfield, and Wellington are away. They're 9 for 9 here in the T20 SCA Grand Final.
Was a good comeback there from McConnell with 3 dot balls at the end there, but he just needs to be a bit more tighter to Webb if he gets on face next over.
Is it into his body a little bit more? I mean, the field was set for an offside field. There was the extra fielder on the offside, but was it more opportunities maybe to bowl a bit straighter to him?
Could have been. It just seemed a bit straight, but he was bowling wide, and he only had one fielder out in the deep there, a deep sort of cover point. And you've probably seen enough of Nathan Webb over the years to know his strengths are deep cover and deep point.
Well, here's another man that likes to whack the cricket ball. Muir. He's going to face up. Who have we got coming on from the
Clive Rose.
We have got Rose coming on, so as we thought, Rose to open up, as he has done. I've got a nice angle here of Clive Rose, a tight-in shot.
Oh, that's a good ball.
That might have been a little bit high.
Good drift, though. Drifted in nicely with that breeze.
So intriguing here. So for Rose, there's a deep mid-wicket right on the fence. So that's his defensive position. Allow him just to put it there. Now that just fell short of the fielder backwards square. It was McConnell, and I reckon he was about half a second until he realised that ball was coming towards his hands. And he just shakes his right hand with the impact of that cricket ball.
I think we found the better McConnell fielder in the first over.
Just falling in front. We might get that one on a replay to see that was actually an opportunity. The hard to dive forward to challenge, but straight away there, we're just seeing the end of it as that one's down leg side, and as runs, that one gets outside the circle. So the McConnell boys at the moment are doing a lot of the work in the field. So straight away, Hobbo was seeing a lot more straighter angle with that deep mid-wicket on the offside, less protection outside the ring, but a fairly strong field from cover around to backward point. So it's going to be fairly straight bowling here.
Yeah, I sort of look at the deep long on's probably a wasted position there for Nathan at the time being, especially if Clive's going to keep angling in the padge, and if he gets the ball to turn away from him, you probably need more the deep cover. Like that's hitting you against the spin.
So maybe make them do something different by hitting out towards it offside. There, that ball there.
Oh, another misfield there at point.
So just a little sloppy. We do know that Wellington have got such a dynamic and ferocious top order, capable of scoring 200, 220 on this ground in the right conditions. So the Knights are going to have to be on their game early. As you said, Hobbo, just drifting onto the legs. There's a chance for a run out, and I think he might have given him. And there is the arm in the air. So a mix-up at the bowler's end. He pushed, he took off straight away. May have been ball watching. And Clive Rose in his follow-through zipped across the wicket. And as easy as ever, side on, took the stumps down, the first wicket's down. And that is exactly what the Knights needed.
Exactly. Great start there. Good pressure bowling. But a suicide run should never have been done.
Let's just see here on the replay here on Duff TV. So the push, he took off straight away. Then he just stood right in the middle of the wicket there for a couple of minutes. And a nice
he's
bit
out
of
by
work.
a long way.
Yeah, good metre and a half. And in the end, the fielder came in to take the bails off. Was not required as Clive Rose's little underarm rocketed into the woodwork. And Wellington got their first wicket down.
Looks like Sean Farrelly coming out to bat
As
now.
we expected in the top four, Farrelly, dynamic hitter of the ball, particularly through the leg. This will be, I've been looked at this matchup. Rose, Farrelly, could be interesting. Webb on strike.
That's a cracking shot through covers.
Well, that is, I've seen a bit of Webb bat. I reckon that's classic Webb, isn't it? Maybe that long off's a better option. Just manipulated his hands and found the gap wide. Mid-off, beautiful shot. Let's see, look at this, Hobbo.
He's probably the best cover driver going around, like in any form of cricket, from on the stumps to outside the stumps. He'll manipulate his footwork to actually get that ball in them areas. He's just perfect.
I'm just wondering then, do you try and defend that and put a man back there and go, all right, if you want to hit me to the leg, try it, but I'm going to defend that offside?
I think this is the bonus too. Clive hasn't seen these guys bat.
Fair point.
And a lot of the Knights guys, being the first year in first grade, wouldn't have seen how these guys actually bat. So they're probably just trying to set regulation fields, and instead of trying to think about what they're doing. So it'll be actually quite interesting to see how quickly they do change their position.
Well, we've got a bowling change. Have we got a bowling change? We do have a bowling change here. So
Andrew Cornish.
Interested to see what Cornish can produce. We know he's a wily bowler. He'll drag his hands. He'll change the speed. A lot of left-handers in this Wellington side. Knights side. Certainly not as quick as what he used to be. Rather swift bowler in his youth. And there's that length, isn't it? That's the length. Nothing new from Fraley. Just throw their hands at it.
Yes. Not much footwork, just swing and hope. And with mid-off and mid-on up, there's no protection backwards, so it's in his wheelhouse. If it's there, it's going to go travelling.
Just reckon he gets a bit of bounce, Cornish. Just a little bit of extra bounce. There it is there. And it meant the ball was in the air and a little uncontrolled out to the sweeper on the offside for a single. Just get a replay of that one again, Gerard. Gerard, our man on the pots and pans here in the Duff TV headquarters. Just see this little bit of, this is wrist position, a little bit of extra bounce, and that's going to be hard to control. So good length. In saying that, though, this will be a different contest against Muir.
I think Webb's going to go straight in deep cover.
Yep.
Well, that's a good shot. Out to deep mid.
I reckon, you know what, that's excellent bowling from Cornish because he's actually dropped it back of a length to Webb and he's got it more into the hip. And they've got the fielder there. So good subtle change from Cornish as runs you just feel, don't they, Hobbo, are going to come pretty easily today.
You'd think so. That with only 2 out for the first 6 overs, you know, this is the time they've got to cash in.
It really is a batter's game, isn't it?
Yes, it's terrible as your bowler. This is well bowled from Cornish.
He's crafty, a really crafty bowler. And he's capable of just running his fingers down at 2. And Farrelly, he doesn't need to get set. He wants to throw the hands at everything at the moment. Crouch stance, the wind zephyring over his shoulder. And a quick single there off the body. No Ben Beams today. A bit of a loss for Wellington. Chris, did I hear an old man calf injury, was it?
Hamstring.
Hamstring. Well, I reckon he's done the hammy a few times over the years too, Beamer.
He does. I reckon he'll be back for finals, though. You can near guarantee it. He's missed a premiership, and he'll be definitely back to have a crack for Wellington in the 50-over competition.
So straight away, Cornish has come on, just made the batters try and manipulate, and unfortunate overthrow there. So just once again, the Knights' lack of awareness in the field has resulted in a few runs. As that's the end of a really good over from Cornish, so he's coming to the attack. Will we see that change of bowlers regular? It's a bit of a common theme, isn't it, in the T20 format?
You'd like to think so, but he might even earn another over after that one. That was a perfect over. It's just their fielding is very sloppy at the moment. It's got to lift. When you're playing a team like Wellington, like enough for 24 of 3 overs, you know, they've got to start lifting. They're going 8 and over. If they keep going this, Wellington score 200.
I mean, is it 200 enough though on this ground? Just that you know, the movement of the ball across the ground's in good nick. It's actually the wind's dropped right off at the moment too, Chris, which is great. What do you reckon is a good score?
I think anything over 160 is very defendable,
yep.
But in saying that, Knights do have a good batting lineup as well. That's a good educated nick there.
Just showing his class, isn't he? Maybe throwing the hands on it in the last over against Cornish. Just get yourself going with a few little dinky shots and a nice little move there through to slips court. And obviously no slips in place. 2 players out, as Chris mentioned, the last over. Lots of space here at Eady Street.
That's good shot. That's through. It's well weighted there by Farrelly.
Well, this is better, isn't it? Playing proper cricket shots. The last day we just saw him throwing his hands at Cornish and didn't have a lot of success, but now he's getting himself engaged. The hands coming through nicely, seeing the class of Farrelly.
I suppose a good thing, though, these guys have seen Rose bowl for years at Big Bash level. They sort of know what he does, so if you can remember that out in this competition, especially on synthetic, it's not going to do too much.
Well, we just saw the extra bounce of Clive Rives. I reckon that might have been the little top spinner. Saw the finger come over the top. We are a bit of a distance here in the Duff TV van, but we might just see that one in the replay, Jerry, to see the little toppy there, which now and again does not grip on synthetic turf.
Just beat him neck and crop there.
Yep. Yeah, to see that drop, look at that drop and the overspin on the Clive Rose delivery, something that these batters maybe won't be accustomed to, watching that drop. Not to say there aren't good spinners in the SCA, but in Clive's manipulation of the ball would be right up there. Oh, he's given him. Well, I thought that might have been a little bit high. Clive Rose was very exuberant, and Farrelly is gone. Well, we'd have to wait to see the replay. We always reckon the umpires get about 90 to 95% right, unless we're the ones batting. Hard to tell from here. He went across the stumps. Looks high-ish from there.
So we have a side-on view of that one.
Look, we've only got the 2 cameras and 1 stationary, so... Look, Martin Duffy on top of the van here, hanging on for dear life on top of the van, and the umpire's finger raised. And although there's been some sloppy moments from the Knights in the field, they've managed to scrag a couple of wickets, and they're very much in this game early.
It's actually good bowling there from Clive. Like, he's showing his class 100%. Just mixing it up. That's the secret too on synthetic. Just mix it up, mix your pace up, mix your variations, and the guy's got plenty of variations. Looks like Daniel Muir's coming out for a hit.
So the other Muir, a taller version.
Some say the better Muir.
The lighter blue cap as well there. Looks like a brand newie. May have come from the Greg Chappell, was the cricket centre there.
At the cricket hub.
The cricket hub, I should say. One of the sponsors here, the Southern Cricket Association. Thanks to those sponsors, and Bendigo Bank, I think, is also one of our friends, Kookaburra. And obviously Good Sports as well. There they are on the screen. Thanks to all those sponsors for helping make the Southern Cricket Association the biggest cricket competition in the world south of Melbourne. I just got a feeling,
it's a good finish.
Both Webbs, I kind of feeling there could be a run-out opportunity when these just, Webb and Muir in. I just think that every time Webb hits it, he's looking for a run. It could be interesting. So Cornish just get another over. He did predict that one and deserve it after that first. So right on the money. I reckon this game's level at the moment, Chris.
Yes, and he's got Muir on strike too, which hasn't faced him. He's only faced the 1 ball. So if you can bowl them sort of change-ups, well, Daniel Muir likes to go downtown, deep, long on. So if there's no sort of player there, he'll try to hit it from anywhere.
So they've got the same field, haven't they, Chris? They've got that player sweeping just on the offside of the deep extra cover fence. There's a player just under the light tower at the deep mid-wicket fence. They're the 2 players outside the circle, so it's a bit of a bits and pieces field from Cornish. He'll have to bowl back of a length to Muir to begin with, I'd imagine, with this field.
If I was there, I'd keep that field, but I'd bring in deep square and drop back Richo at deep long on, just to cover that.
Allow him to bowl a little bit more towards that middle and off sort of, or more sort of outside off stump, back of a length.
His bread and butter shot is straight down long on.
It's again just manipulating the length here, Cornish.
He's bowling very well.
Just goes to show pace isn't the option, is it, in these T20 games on synthetic? It's the clever changes, it's good lengths, it's obviously setting the right fields, but Cornish showing some experience at the moment.
Oh, he's got him. Caught behind. He is bowling absolutely amazing, the Corns.
Well, I just wanted that little nibble away. That extra bounce we talked about in his first over. seeing an example there. He's got a good wrist position. Reckon he's got a little bit extra. To see this on the replay from Cornish, and Muir is on his way. Just a little bit of extra bounce. Good catch.
That is beautiful bowling.
Thick edge.
Too short to cut though, but then he probably got the best batter in the competition over the last, well, easy 10 years in Wayne Quarrell. Between him and Webb, they'll bat together and they'll still manipulate the field. And they will put away the bad balls.
I think
easily.
these two will run well together. I think they'll knock singles a bit early on. They need to consolidate a little bit here, Wellington, because at the moment the Knights have turned this game around and they've got the early advantage.
With 3 wickets inside the power play, they say usually if you use 4 wickets, your game's over. So they're going to have to put a good partnership together here, the Warriors.
Well, the last time these two teams matched up, it was early December in a T20 format, that is. It was a comfortable victory for Wellington early in this T20 competition. They did lose one game, I think, throughout. I just have to check who that was Wellington lost to.
But in that 2020 they played against the Knights, they did embarrass the Knights. So
Yeah, I think the Knights batter first got cleaned up, didn't they, by some really good quality bowling.
Yep.
Couple
Now
of run-outs in there as well.
being turned on its ear now.
So Quarrelly, such a competent cricketer, wonderfully skilled left-hand batter. And I reckon Cornish doesn't bowl as well to the lefties. Well, he may think he does, but I reckon he's better against the right-handers. So steady the ship time, you'd think.
Right here. Oh, he's got another one.
Oh, their
There's
arm is
another one.
raised. And Cornish
He's
is
on fire.
absolutely buzzing. And he's just run the fastest 14 metres he's done in his life. And he's got 2 and an over. And the massive wicket of Quarrelly out without troubling the scorers.
What a start by the Knights. You would not read about it, what is happening here. Everyone expected it would be their Premier League players doing the damage, but it's the destroyer from last season when they absolutely embarrassed the Wellington Warriors here at Eady Street. It's Andrew Cornish doing the job with the ball again, where last season he done it with the bat when he hit 60 or 70 of 20-odd balls.
Well, Nathan Webb sitting there in 18. He hasn't faced a ball for a while. He's 18 off 11.
It's a bit quiet.
Yeah, Muir, run out, Rose. Farrelly, LB, Rose. A little high, but the umpire's in the best position. And then in that over from Cornish, Muir caught behind, and then Quarrelly also caught behind, leaving them 4 for 33 in the 5th over. So Manson, the youngster, the all-rounder, comes in. Does like to whack the ball down the ground, Manson, but I imagine he's going to need to rebuild again with Webb. He's straight away off the mark. Well, what do you reckon? Keep with Cornish, or do you leave a couple at the end for him?
Go again. Keep him going. Bowl him out. Putting the pressure on. They're not scoring off him. If he takes another 1 or 2 wickets, the pressure is definitely right on the Warriors here. Like Manson can play. He's a good player.
Yep.
He's saved the Warriors a few times in years.
Yeah, he loves these
positions,
positions, loves these moments, Manson, doesn't he? Just the gritty knocks, and then can whack a few through leg later on if needed.
It'd be interesting to see how Nathan Webb goes. 1 over left in the power play. Does he sort of shut up shop and build bats through the innings and then cash in at the end? Or does he keep going attacking?
He's smart enough just to play six off this over, singles. If the opportunity arises, I think he's good enough, isn't he, Hobbo, to smack a boundary if the ball's in a spot to hit. But we've got Manson on strike.
Another change of bowler. Rose is off.
So we'll just try and pick up who this bowler is with a nice little tash.
Good flight.
Just getting the field set here. Early stages SCA Grand Final. Knights are on top thanks to a Cornish double.
There we go. Straight through cover again.
There's a quality of Webb. Second boundary through that area. Flied it a little bit. And 4 bits, and I'll enjoy that. That'll keep the momentum going.
I think the Knights are a bit slow on Webby's cover drive here.
But just look the way he took his left foot. They talk a lot about clear that left leg out, gives you access to the ball, often also on the leg side. And Cornish wasn't going to bother chasing that one down.
No chance there. Not even as quick as he was running to the keeper for that catch
Yeah,
in the
no,
previous over.
yeah, tell you what, he did move quick, didn't he? Not a bad option, the sweep shot, because he's certainly throwing the ball up. Young Paul comes in again. This one a better length, and that meant that Webb had to make a decision. He couldn't drive down the ground, so Paul...
Good fitting there by Matty O'Connell, leading from the front.
Pretty stagnant field though, isn't it, Hobbo? They're not making too many changes. That one's a bit shorter. And that offside dominant field inside the circle, preventing anything getting past.
Starting to lock it up a bit now. I like the flight that Paul's giving. Try and beat Webb in flight.
Well, he went for it, didn't he? I think he was thinking he might have tried to hit that a little straighter, but just pulled it down along the ground for a single to finish that over from Paul. So the power play is done. And points, you'd say, Knights at the moment, Chris.
Oh, 100%. Wellington have a job to do in the next session. They would not want to lose another wicket between now and at least the 12 overs. So there's got to be at least 6 overs or a good partnership between these two. And they've got the talent to do it. There's no issue there.
Absolutely. A lot of depth in their batting lineup without Ben Beams. It doesn't hurt them as much when you look down that list. And there's a few of the people enjoying their day here at Eady Street, the home of the Wellington Warriors. They're bunched in around over there. COVID safe, obviously. All social distancing.
Great wet area here at the G.
Yeah, I really like this ground. We've actually covered a lot of ground games out at Cadbury's, which is a bit bigger and a larger space, Cambridge Oval. But when we saw this ground, I thought, oh, that's a beauty. It's a nice, tight confines. There's a little bit of atmosphere. You've got the quirky little bar over there on the left of us, and plenty of people situated in front of that as Connolly coming down to us. Just as the field's now spread, we've got a long on in place. We've got a deep mid wicket. Another player on the off, just around that deep mid, I should say deep mid wicket area. As the first ball's going out to that deep cover, but that is magnificent. Gee, I reckon that's the third boundary through that exact spot, Hobbo.
It is. They're just not waking up to the shot he plays.
And it's not that they don't have a fielder there. They just need to bring the fielder 20 metres this way.
Your deep third man right down there on the boundary, sort of like in a wasted spot. Nathan's not going to hit it there. He's more of a power player.
And I take 20 metres off that boundary because of the slope as well. There it is again. Now they've got the fielder. Look, he only went 5 metres further around, but Con McConnell there covering that one after missing one in the first over. So maybe Cornish will be his Manson with the red helmet on strike.
Good shot down there for one.
So a lot of pressure now on Webb. With very competent cricketers underneath him, but a lot of very good hitters have gone. And at the moment, he's scoring predominantly through the offside. They've partly covered it with a deep backward, or I should say a deep backward pointer, even a squarish third man. Extra cover and a long off. So 3 players preventing those boundaries on the short side and the slopey side towards the Village Cinemas here at Eady Street. Now that's going to have to be cut off because that is rocketing off the wood that Webb is holding and smashes in front of the wet area there. That made a beautiful sound. And
that is 4 in that area. They've got to start fixing it up.
I feel like, hey, Jerry, have we got capacity to do one of those little pitch maps of the boundaries? Because they'd all be just one big fat line through that straightish cover area.
Well, if you've got Clive Rose there on the cover inside the circle, he needs to go around a little bit. He's piercing that gap between there and the deep sort of point.
Good crowd in place here as well. That's nicely worked well into space. It should be a couple. There's people on the hill there, people in front of their cars. Probably some of the best weather we've had for a few days in southern Tasmania. Been a very blustery week. And Cornish's third over is done here. And probably was their best over so far, wasn't it, outside the power play, which is often the case, isn't it? The pressure's off, there's more gaps through the infield. you can sometimes start up your scoring.
That was brilliant. And Nathan just needs to be on the strike more. Isaac has to get singles, get Nathan on strike, keep that momentum going so Isaac can actually build into his innings. And he will capitalise at the end there. He's a power hitter.
We're just seeing a replay of that boundary. You can just see the energy generating the bat swing from Webb. He's got that real flick of the wrist, very modern day style. The bat's dynamic, coming down with some considerable velocity. And it makes a really nice crisp noise as it rockets off that bat.
Seems like they've got a lot out here for the new batsmen. Like both long on and long off are out. The easy single in the previous
you'd want to keep on strike for a couple of overs, wouldn't you, Chris?
That's where Isaac got his single to put Nathan on strike beforehand. Maybe put the pressure on him. If he's good enough to hit over the top, let him go for it. You've got him 4 for 50.
Yeah, 5 down. It makes it very hard as Paul continues.
There it is, the easy single out to mid wicket.
Yeah, good pick up, Chris Hobson. I think I'm agreeing with you. Take a little punt here. 5 down, and you could potentially roll them for 100 and bowl them out on their home turf. And it gives your team a huge chance of victory, even though we know Wellington have a very solid bowling lineup.
They still haven't got that deep covered.
No, and you just look there, even the long off is actually quite straight to Webb at the moment. He hasn't really hit anything there. Maybe just laxing. Got to keep things happening. It's a very busy game for a captain. Tell you what, I think Webb was aiming down there as well.
He was. And even the one deep on the point side of it, he's probably mid-pitch. So he's not going to get that cover drive that Webb plays. If he gets it past the short, I suppose, cover on the circle, that's 4 runs every day of the week.
Faster one from Paul. Good bowling.
Well, there's 3 dots in a row. I think Webby might make something happen this ball.
Yeah, his get out now and again is the slog to mid-wicket. Sensible, though. Just holding it up. Maybe at 4 down, he's reconsidering the danger and the risk versus reward with that shot.
Sometimes if the bowler is bowling well, you give him the over. Don't take the risk.
There it is, down the ground, though.
See, it's a nice safe shot, though.
So action aplenty here in the SCA T20 Grand Final. Paul's just finished his second over, the all-rounder. Expect some batting from him at different stages. But it's Webb at the top of the Nathan variety. 34 to him. In fact, he's moved to 35. He's keeping things ticking along. And young Manson as well. The all-rounder will have to do some work. Possibly Downton next, or Thomas. Thomas goes all right. So there's plenty of decent batters. Kobe Phillip can hold a cricket bat reasonably well.
They've still got plenty of batting. They'll bat right down to number 10 at least.
So what do you reckon? Webb stays 15, 16, has to be there at 15. 15 overs gone.
Then he'll just unleash. There'll be no ground big enough for him or small enough. He'll be clearing boundaries left, right and centre.
Still reckon the gold class of the Village Cinemas could be a chance for a ball through the window or on top of the roof. I just feel it's looming over there. It's very close, so I hope the insurance is good. There's a little fence that runs along here at Eady Street on the ground. There's a bus parked there as well. My cars, I think everyone's in danger if...
I don't think that bus is in a good position.
No, I wouldn't say. I hope Metro's got some insurance. There's a bus right at deep mid-wicket.
Here comes Connell back on after his first over. Let's see if he's learnt from that first over to Webb.
Well, a fuller one.
I think he should have done a bit better off his fielding there. Although maybe he just wants to bowl to Isaac.
Maybe he bluffed it. I kind of feel he went to lean down and thought, no, I'll just flick that on a little bit and make sure that Webb gets off strike. So he's bowling very full for his first couple. It's not a bad option. You just can't bowl short, can you, from this end?
No.
With that offside area, both players good on the off. Webb in particularly cannot bowl too wide, can't bowl too short. It's got to be in at the body. What does he do? He bowls a loopy full toss and got away with it. That one. Absolutely.
And even then, though, if you bowl it short here, they will hit you on top of the hill there at the short side to the right here. I suppose up where the housing department houses are and the nets. It is quite short there.
Gutsy delivery.
I thought he would have thrown the kitchen.
It's really hard to bowl wide on these wickets. It's not the wide. It's one of the wider wickets I was going to say here at Eady Street, but a lot of them aren't particularly wide. And if you try and throw it too far and wide, it can often hit the turf.
Yes. That's 6. That's over.
Oh, just missing 2 cars. The bus has left the vicinity, And we have been warning the people travelling up and down. If you're listening somehow to Dove TV and you think you're going to come up towards Chapel and towards Glenorchy, just be aware there's some action and Webb is on strike. There we go, to go and field it.
And he's thrown it and hit the light pole.
Well, this is all on television, all on Dove TV. Let's look at Webb in action against Cornish. Big swing, middle, road.
That's a good shot. Square the...
And there we go, that car just slowed down there.
People don't realise how hard that sort of shot is. Square over the offside for 6. That's gone at least probably 70 metres. And when you're not quick bowlers, that's a lot of power.
Yeah, that was a ripper. Good entertainment here in the SCA T20 Grand Final as Nathan Webb up to 42. So they haven't changed, or they've got a fielder now. They've got a second fielder on the off just in that hitting area. Won't matter if he keeps putting it over. He's too smart though, Webb. That was angled in by Cornish. I should say McConnell, and a single.
Apart from that one shot, it was a good over.
Yeah, bowled full. Maybe just missed one full toss opportunity. Some of the Wellington Warriors sponsors, thanks to all those on the screen right now, for helping the Warriors get a season up in what was some tiring times last year, but great job from this team in the SCA to get the season cracking along.
Who we got here? Looks like Damien Paul's going to continue bowling.
I think he might be bowling out here, Paul. It's been a good option, actually. He's come in and it's been economical. Just think, though, if Webb gets on strike to Paul's last over, he may try and start to waft him to that short mid-wicket.
Oh, he's got to have that.
Might get a couple here. No, deciding at the last minute there. It's probably the largest bit of real estate, isn't it? Just out to that area there through long on.
Yeah, probably the longest boundaries are straight wicket. Like even the one down here towards the van here, it's a good hit. If you're going to clear the boundary here, you hit it probably at least 80 to 90 metres.
High, very high, and that's massive. Well, I just felt that mid-wicket fence was an option. Just thought that Webb was going to try and find the car park there here at Eady Street, and all he did was find a fielder's waiting hands. And that is a huge wicket, but a good innings. But still, the Knights just on top here in the SCA T20 Grand Final. It was there to be hit too, wasn't it?
It was there.
Was it maybe one where he could have gone straight down the ground because he's hit across the line. McConnell, good catch.
Especially after he's made amends.
Tell you what, I reckon he was nervous.
Oh, he was absolutely crapping little rabbit poos, I reckon.
I have a feeling that was in the air for a lot longer than he wanted to, and Muir was very annoyed with himself as he walks off here at Eady Street. Didn't quite get to the half century. And now some work to be done by these middle order batters.
At 5 for 63 in the 10th over, there is a lot of work to be done. Isaac's got to take it on himself now. He's been out there for a few balls. He needs to take the mantle now. He can do it, but he's got to show that he can do it.
So Paul with the wicket in this over. One he'll definitely claim from some persistent bowling, which was nice and tight against Muir. Muir was unable to get him through the off as much as he maybe wanted. He was winding up for a big shot, and in the end skied one.
I still think they missed a trick with the new batsman in. Bring your field in a little bit. Put some pressure on him.
Yeah, Phillips isn't going to go for a big shot early. He's a worker of the ball. A decent batter, but I agree. Keep these batters on strike. Really start to turn the screws with the slow bowlers on.
He's throwing some good flight up too, Paul.
There's a nice old car coming down Eady Street at the moment. I think that's safe at the moment. I don't reckon Phillips is going to go there yet.
Oh, well fielded.
Yeah, it's been a nice little cameo here from Paul. He came on just when you thought the Knights were right on top, but Muir was starting to get set. And he's produced the goods. A wicket in that over from Paul. Nathan Muir gone. Phillips and Manson to do the work here for Wellington.
At the halfway mark, Wellington 5 for 66 with the job still to be done.
Well, considering they've had, as you say, more than half of that was a power play, they've got plenty to do. Things can turn with a couple of overs here from Wellington of just sensible cricket. And then Thomas, Downton and potentially Manson as well can really light up the back end. They've still got 120, 130. You mentioned, Chris, you know, that's a score which is defendable. They've got a good bowling attack. Game on still here in the T20 Grand Final.
Well, when you look at it, the Warriors will be disappointed. Their top 5 batsmen, only one person's hit double figures. And that was Webb, who's just got out.
So McConnell from the Duff TV studio end of the ground. Just the southern end of the ground here at Eady Street. Just in the shades of the lovely eucalyptus trees behind us.
Got big Andrew Cornish down here in front of us, taking some big deep breaths, hoping a ball comes down to him.
I reckon he's thinking, I'm okay here in the shade, thank you very much.
Oh, there's another one.
No, into the ground.
Bump ball.
Into the ground. That's the crowd catch, Chris.
Got me going.
You're excited.
Oh, that was 6 for.
You're into the action, mate. That's good to see.
Oh, yeah, in replay straight into the ground.
Probably just the one here. They might look for
Oh,
two.
Kobe is a whipping
Tell you
between the
what.
runs. You won't run him out.
Well, we know he's good on the footy field. Seen him play as a junior and as a one of my favourite players running around. Always wears the long sleeves in footy as well, young Kobe.
Yeah, if there was a dash here for the running threes,
Tell you what, I
probably
thought he
win it
might.
hands down.
You know what? I thought he might have tried to bounce it. He doesn't mind a bounce on the footy field, young Phillips.
See, he'll come back here.
Well, they're going to throw it to the keeper's end, and that throw was a bit better with a bit more power. It might have been on because Manson was trying to get back to the keeper's end, but a couple of runs. So a little bit of a turn here. So the youth of Wellington, a couple of quick twos.
Where they realise they're throwing to Isaac's end, they've got to get the fielders in the position with the great arms on the boundary.
Yeah, good point. There's so many things to think about, isn't there, as a fielding side? Working out how you cut off the angles, where you have your best arms.
Kobe will come back for 2 again.
Cornish used to have a good arm, but I reckon he's lost a little bit over the journey.
I do think the Knights are missing a trick here. Even though they've got them 5 for, if they keep going like this and get 2, they're going to get up with 140, 150 anyway.
Yeah, well, there's no risk at the moment. The ball's along the ground. They're getting comfortable twos. They're also wearing out and frustrating. And the bowler's not getting rewards for bowling good deliveries. I mean, that's a good delivery, even though it's only a single. No chance for that really to be hit for a boundary unless there's a risk taken by Manson. But a comfortable single rotates a strike and gets Phillips into the action.
And you're definitely not going to Kobe. Kobe is never going to get tired out with these quick runs. He's only running 20 metres at a time. He used to be running up the wings of a football ground.
Yeah, 11K is a game easily. So, next over, how does Rose? Do they swap him, or does he maybe bowl the last couple of overs?
I'd bring back for 1 now.
Yeah, do they take a punt and maybe try and get Rose? There's young Luke Bartolovic, a star of the Marquis Tigers. Had a premiership a couple of days ago in 11th grade, is it, Gero, are we playing? 7th grade?
Jeez, he only looks like he's about 2. How did he win a premiership?
He's young lad there. I can't remember his... Charlie, is it? Young Charlie there, Charlie Bartolovic.
Well, definitely Damien Paul's going to bowl out. Now, there's a chance to actually try and bowl a wicket, but I still think his field's in the wrong position straight.
Yeah, well, let's just tell the narrative for the fans out there that can't see. We've got a couple of players on the leg side relatively close to each other, forward of square. So they're trying to protect that leg side boundary for Paul. I just feel that Phillips isn't going to hit there. And they're on for a run out, and the ball's just popped out of the hands there. There's those 2 fielders, thanks to Martin Duffy there, listening in. And we've got a bit of coverage on the offside and down the ground, but yeah, an extra fielder inside the circle. Just keep those singles down. Oh, that's not going to help.
Massive.
Hello, that's gigantic.
That's roof. That's on the subway roof.
Well, if you ordered some sort of roll at Subway, you might have just got a cricket ball landed in it. And I'm not sure what the COVID protocols if 3 teenagers at Subway have to hand it back through the kitchen window. Let's see. To be honest, Hobbo, this deserved to be smacked into Subway.
Oh, look at the air. That actually could be a no ball too.
No ball.
A free hit.
That is considerable. The only thing I can say is the Red Cross have got a little building over there. There's probably no one working at the moment. We may need to engage them if a ball smashes into a car or someone. As umpire's there just waiting for the white round object, which Manson just lodged into the supermarket.
That's one of those you go to Subway and say, I'll just get a foot long. with a drink, and instead of a cookie, I'll grab one of them white Kookaburras.
I'd like a Kookaburra to go with my drink. Thank you very much. Another replay of that telling blow.
Well, that's shot of the day. That's beat Webb's cover drives. Quite easily. Well, probably not his 1 over point.
Once again, we do need to put a warning out to anyone coming down Eady Street, coming down onto Tolosa, wherever you might be living, on back on the Chapel, coming off Newtown Maid Road, coming off the highway, heading home after a long day on a Thursday, thinking you've only got 1 day left in the week, and here comes a cricket ball hurtling towards your vehicle. Maybe just have your eyes open. There's a bag of balls just there.
He's on the close-up there. Them balls look pretty good too. They'll be good training balls for the Knights.
Yeah, well, they might be able to get young lad to climb up there and get that ball off the roof. An extra ball there for maybe the Wellington lads. Back in the action here. There's some of the crowd here in the grand final. Hope you're enjoying it on Duff TV. In the air. Wow. Just for a second, I thought that might have carried to McConnell. It just fell in front of him.
I'm just wondering why it wasn't called a no ball. It looked
Well,
like it was definitely way over.
I think sometimes for the slow bowlers, they tend not to always call it. It's obviously not dangerous, but it'll certainly give some confidence to Manson as he's up to 22.
Now Paul needs to come back really strong in this over, just finish it off.
Well, you know what, though? He's bowled a couple of full tosses and they missed out. So, to be fair, he probably had a little bit of luck up till then. So Manson's going to get another opportunity, that the little lower, that full toss. And he threw a fair bit to that, but probably needs to go from low to high and get that height on the ball. He's hitting a little bit down and just lost a bit of momentum. Good length. Good finish to the over.
Was a good finish.
So that's done for Paul. Some crafty little off spinners. Picked up a massive wicket. Did get hit for a big 6, but overall, I think you'd definitely take that against this Wellington team. Still, probably levelling out a little bit at the moment. I reckon, as you say, 130 is still a decent total. Still some work to be done to get to that total from Wellington.
We still bowled 4 overs, 1 for 20, and that's going for a massive 6 as well. So
yeah,
it's a good return from Dave.
You know, if you think you're going for 15, if you take out that 6, you know, make it a single. That's 15 off 4. Rose with 2 overs still to go. Cornish with an over still left for him. McConnell as well, and this will be his last.
Little inside edge there onto the pad, into the short mid wicket.
Maybe they'll leave Cornish to the end with Rose to bowl 3 of the last lot of overs.
Well, they still need a 5th bowler.
I'm just looking through the list who...
Is Anthony Marr playing? He might be the bowler.
Well, I haven't seen him anywhere near the cricket ball at the moment, Marr.
Guy that took 10 wickets in an innings for Lindisfarne earlier in the year.
Surprised he hasn't bowled yet. And maybe it's... he might just come on to the 16th over. Maybe even the 14th over. He might be next.
Bowl 4 out.
Just bowl 4 at the back end. So good here from McConnell.
It is a good comeback after that first over.
I reckon it's a better field on the off. There's 3 players inside the ring on the offside for Manson. Even though that one was hit the leg, I think that's the better field. So 1 less fielder deep, protecting the boundary, and that player came into the circle. So just a little adaptation here for the Knights.
Good ball.
How they got a run there? That's magnificent from Phillips. Whacked into his foot. He looks a little sore, but he still managed to navigate a single.
He can still run 111 flat.
What are you like over 100?
Yeah, don't want to know. I'm still coming.
Negative, you're still there, you're still moving. Now, he was off then, Phillips, for a second, and Manson said, what are you doing? Get back, get back. And he turned around and quickly got on his bike and returned back to the popping crease at the non-striker's end. So McConnell bowled out. Some sponsors there on screen for the Knights. Thanks to all those people. The Shamrock, good spot. Down there in the city.
Maybe Marr's not going to bowl today. It looks like Justin Richardson's about to have a trundle.
I would have thought Mar would have been on by now, so...
Might have an issue. Maybe Lindisfarne said you can bat but can't bowl.
Put some restrictions on him coming in the back end of their season. Richardson more than capable.
But some pace off too might be a key. He does bowl a few good change-ups. think the Knights need another wicket here, just to put the pressure back on the Warriors.
It's been clever from these two, though, hasn't it, Hobbo? Like, they've just steadied the thing without taking too many risks. They've knocked the ball, done that. They've done that. Constantly hitting the ball to fielders, and I don't want to be too unfair to the Knights arena ring, but mildly stationary. And I mean, sometimes you do want to be as deep as possible, but there's been some opportunities, and the Knights just been a bit stagnant at times when they were really on top when Kobe Phillips came out to bat. I reckon they might be on for 2 here again. Phillips, you know what's so great about Phillips and all the great runners, Dean Jones, Bevan and all the really good runners, Jonty Rhodes, are really quick in and out of the crease, turning and getting out of that crease. So you might get a look at him turning a 2 in a second here with Gerald. We'll get Duff to zoom in to see how quick he is accelerating coming back for that second run.
Always run that first one quick.
Another misfield. He waited for the ball to drop out of McConnell's hands and Phillips and snuck down for a single. It'd be a nightmare in indoor cricket, wouldn't he, Phillips?
Oh, he would be terrible.
He'd be pinging all over the place.
Even these guys in the circles, there's only mid-wicket that is off the circle.
Yeah,
all the others on there.
and that's pretty standard for T20. You tend to get on there and protect the boundary. That's the bat bashing into the synthetic turf here at Eady Street was the noise you heard. But yeah, you sort of feel defensive a little bit. I reckon they can be a bit more attacking. As you said, a 5th wicket or a 6th wicket here would be massive for the Knights. Oh, that was just, I was going to say, was he going to call that one a wide? Yes, he has raised the arms up, so an extra delivery required here. Sun shining, the wind is dropped right off here in the northern suburbs of the southern capital. And it's SCA cricket here, Aaron Peach Roberts, Chris Hobson on Duff TV. Hope you're enjoying the action. Richardson, really good start. No, hittable deliveries. There you go, get the right fielder out there at the deep forward of point.
There's Ma out there on the cover boundary with a rocket arm.
Well, he's obviously moving okay. We might have to do some investigation, see what's going on with Ma to see if he's a chance to bowl a couple of overs here. I would have expected him by now as Phillips trying to accelerate. There's 2 here you'd imagine on offer, but Manson said, no, just need a break from this, Kobe. You've been running me ragged ever since you came out. Just need to slow the tempo down again.
Been a lot of running.
Good over from Richardson. Score ticking over here.
14 overs down, 5 for 94.
You know what? It's crept up that score, hasn't it, Chris? I mean, that's gone to 94. I mean, this is a 140 minimum for me. So once again, the Knights need another wicket here, don't they, to get that back their way?
I do, because you still got the Warriors still have some power in the shed.
And we know Downton and Thomas can both. Bob Burgess can whack a boundary. Plenty of capacity.
Yeah, you assume Ash Burgess would be next in.
So here we go. We've got Ma now. So he called him to this over, so he is coming on.
So if he bowls well, he can only bowl 3 overs.
Yeah, and that's why I thought he might have bowled at the other end.
So he's only coming off a short run too.
So lots of Premier League cricket players have come up. Chris, is nice to see to join the T20 competition here in the SCA. That's obviously welcomed, you'd imagine, by most punters.
It sort of makes the game a lot more entertaining. Like, as you said, Knights, Clove Rose, ex-Hurricanes player. You haven't got like Downton, well, he's been playing for Wellington for the last 10 years or so. Ex-first-class cricketer. You've got Old Beach, who has Rhett Lockyer, Gerard Denton playing week in, week out.
Yep.
Get all these guys coming back to this competition. It's going to be able to make it a lot more entertaining for more people to come to it.
He caught a wide there, and the umpire is holding his hands there. That's by, so just keeping inside the line. So Ma finally into the tackle. I've been chatting when he'd come in, so he's going to bowl probably 3 flat here. Rose with a couple left. Cornish potentially with 1 where they might not need him still. Don't mind the idea of Cornish bowling. It's nicely worked. Yeah, a couple here. Speaking of Cornish. Just trying to count how many left-handers in this team. Was there 4?
Bowling-wise?
4 left-hand bowlers? Yeah. I think there might be another one in the field as well. So the classic left-hander's action, doesn't he, Ma? Really
It does.
fast through the air. That doesn't get really high with that front arm. And whippy action.
He would definitely be called on with the bat later on in the innings.
Not a bad option, Ma. The Manson, I should say, trying to hit it back down the ground, but Ma was in the way. And it's a good start for him. So good comeback over, though. Wickets are important, but a couple of steady overs where not a lot of runs are scored. As we see some good fielding on the replay there. And I tell you what, Kobe was halfway down the wicket.
And he still gets back in time.
He does. He ran one then, didn't he?
He does. He's not going to get a run there, Kobe. And after 15 overs, Wellington are 5 for 99. So with 5 overs to go, 30 balls, you're expecting at least probably 140, 150.
Yeah, mid 140s. So Richardson to continue. Another single into a ring fielder. So it's hit and tap and run here from the two Wellington all-rounders at the moment. So Nathan Webb with 42 earlier. Got going, but certainly was disappointed when he got out, trying to smack Paul over deep in wicket. Yeah, once again, it's a long arm from there, though, down to that bowler's end. Manson's now moving up, getting up towards 30. He's now moved to 31 with those couple of runs, and Kobe Phillips is holding fort. Only the third player into double figures here for Wellington. They're building the innings again and launching soon. Don't go anywhere. We're going to see some action. And Phillips trying to find some action with a big swing and not connecting.
Manson tried to hit that into the old Bowls Club. His eyes lit up.
Yeah, trying to find the main road there, Manson. Richardson's good length at the moment. There's that good length again. That's hit high, wide and out towards the straight mid-wicket fence and crashes
4 runs
into that aforementioned bit of metallic coverage there, the police car. And a handy boundary for Manson, and I reckon that's his go-to shot. Maybe throw another player out. They've got one player sweeping on the offside. It'd be, a little risky to take that player out, but it might be worth it. I think that's his get-out boundary shot. Squarish on the leg side. And that's a good follow-up. Full toss just on the off. Hard to hit to there.
I think that ball before he was trying to aim for Berkey's old company car.
Yeah,
was there.
that? You reckon that is Berkey's car?
That's Berkey's company car.
But if you hit it, does he get taken home in Berkey's company car?
Depends how many runs he gets.
Just shuffling there. That's terrific bowling from Richardson. Little shuffle there from Manson, trying to get across towards the off to allow him to hit more to the leg. And I reckon Richardson just double bluffed him.
Well,
and
7
into
off
the
that
over.
over.
So considering there's a boundary, there's 3 dot balls in that over. So they're unable to hit that. Well, he missed a couple. Able to just, because if you hit that boundary and there's 5 singles, suddenly that's a great over, isn't it? Yep. That's what's been happening. So good result for the Knights in that over. Just restrict it. There's Manson 35. They need to get more deliveries into Phillips, and Phillips is on strike to mark.
Yeah, they would be hoping at least a minimum a boundary and over. The Knights.
Well, I think he's gone. Well, I reckon we've missed that.
He's bowled him.
Yeah, no, I just missed
Straight
it.
through the
You
gate.
saw the celebration. Kobe actually started running off the ground like he was going for a single.
Yeah, I thought it was just educated down to third man.
And unfortunately, Manson was in the way. So Ma gets the breakthrough, steadies the ship, drags them back a little bit. And I reckon
Probably not a bad thing with Kobe being dismissed then, because it brings in big Ash Burgess, who will be power with only 4 overs to go.
Burgess loves these moments. He likes to hit straight down the ground, Burgess. They might want to long
this replay.
Yeah, we can see the stumps here. York, just a Yorker.
Beautiful ball.
So clever from Ma, the Linsfarn star. Some of the fans here at Eady Street for the T20 SCA Grand Final. Phillips on his way. Ma getting the wicket, 505. Should say 6 for 105. into the back end of this first innings.
But at the end of the day, the Warriors do have the runs on the board, and as Nathan said at the coin toss, runs on the board in a final is whether it's weight and goal, but do they have enough so far?
Well, I think the best thing for us at the moment is it's certainly going to be tight. I mean, they're a chance. Coming in, if you were the objective opinion, you might think that Wellington batting first, good conditions, get 180, 190 with all their stars at the top, make runs, and it sort of dents the enthusiasm for the Knights, but they've kept themselves in this, the Knights. Picked up regular wickets in the first 9 overs. A little partnership from Phillips and Manson. And now the wicket again might just slow them down. Or, as you said, Chris, we could see some acceleration from Big Burgess. There's that down the ground shot. He's going to be striking straight. There's no... Well, I'm intrigued here by the long on because long on's about 20 metres in the boundary. And he needs to be right on it.
Yeah, I think for the time being, while Ash is just trying to get his mojo in, he's just trying to look for the quick singles. Probably the last 2 or 3 overs, he's just going to unleash. And he'll catch up. So
Manson, leg is still an option for him, and that's where he's trying to hit it. Gets a little straighter than maybe where he wanted to try.
Knights would be very happy with singles.
Clark doing the fielding, oh, absolutely. And you know what, the other thing, the only negative thing from Kobe, obviously, other than himself getting out, those 1s and 2s, those quick 1s and 2s, won't happen, I wouldn't have thought.
Oh, well stopped there at point.
Well, that was a fielder behind him, but you never know what's going to happen. And nicely taken there by Paul.
That's 17 overs down. Wellington 6 for 110.
So
Manson,
18 legit deliveries left in this first innings from Wellington. 2 a ball. Suddenly they get something that's a little bit more towards a score they'd be happy with. That'll get them to 146 at 2 and 2 a delivery from here. You reckon that's on? I reckon that's on par.
Yes, at the moment. Clive Rose coming to bowl the last 2 overs from the, I suppose, the showgrounds end. This could end up one of 2 ways. Ash is going to try and hit him into the main road.
Yeah.
Or he'll rip him.
He could be right. Could be hero or nothing. As Bird is sensibly just knocking it away and getting Manson on strike. Now, let's see this deep mid-wicket fence again. Warning to anyone driving down Eady Street. 2 players sweeping there on that leg side boundary. So Rose can bowl a little wide of off stump here and float it in. He's trying to smack it down there. Didn't time that one. He would have got 2 if Kobe Phillips was still out there, but Burgess, although he's a reasonable athlete, is only going to get the 1.
So that big gap between mid-wicket and mid-on is pretty huge. Over towards
towards
the company car.
The company car, the light tower down there. That's good from Rose. Back of a length. They're going to get a quick single here. Get that down to the bowler's end. So easy. It's amazing how easy a single happens when the fielders are so deep.
I need money first, don't I?
There's one of the punters is after a beer.
Yeah, just walking past here. Fax Mike here from the Duff TV van. We hear all sorts of snippets and whispers over the journey of community sport in Duff TV. A few kids have found where the Fax Mike is and have been a little cheeky over the journey. Clive Rose, let's see if he can be a bit cheeky and weasel out a wicket as all he's got is a single there as deep cover into the action.
This is very good deft bowling, this. You take 6 and over.
It helps when someone like Webb and Quarley aren't down the other end, though, isn't it? He's through his over so quick, isn't he? More than happy with singles here. And I reckon wickets probably don't matter too much here. It's actually dot balls are the golden nugget for the Knights to keep this at a respectable total. Manson, let's see if he can find that mid-wicket fence. And he only found the Q end of the bat. I don't know, and have a crack at Manson here. He's obviously an all-rounder and he's batted really well, but when he's slogging, if you want to call it that, he's a little one-dimensional.
Yep. Well, 12 balls to go. 116, 6 wickets. I don't think wickets is going to come into it. I can't see Wellington losing 4 wickets.
I don't think the wickets are an issue now. It's dot
time
ball.
to go. I don't think 116 is enough. the night sort of players that they have, Clive Rose, Ma, Damien Paul, their squad, Cornish, for example.
Well, if you take out the boundaries here, Webb hit 6. There's only been really only 3 other boundaries, one of them being that massive 6. So they've really restricted the boundaries very efficiently. That bottom edge, that only a single. As Ma will continue here from the Duff TV commentary end, or the Kanunji Wellington Mountain end of the ground here at Eady Street. So Burgess now does have long off, long on in place. I think they've got a pretty good field. They're not quite on the fence though.
I mean, there's a free hit for him, Ash.
Still, it's straight. He's still an option. That's good length from
Ma.
Ma can actually bowl foolish here, but can't bowl foolish on the leg. It's got to be foolish outside off. And now they're just having a little bit of a conversation, trying to work out what the plan is. Well, the plan is to hit boundaries. I wonder what Manson's saying to Burgess. Whack boundaries, mate. There he goes. He was trying to go. He was aiming. He was aiming for that soccer pitch just to the right-hand side of us here.
Isaac should say to him, mate, you just got to clear the boundary to by a metre. You don't have to clear it by 20
He
metres.
was trying to hit it up to those apartments there, and the very welcoming little orange divide between the apartments. I think he was trying to aim for one of those windows.
Well, here's an excitement. He's brought in mid-off.
This is good. Will he go a bit straighter? Well, he's bowled a good. That was a good change up from Marnie. He's got the capacity because that little whippy action to bowl a surprising short ball. But is it just me? Hobbo is it's just been the wind's been sucked out of this Wellington innings at the moment.
It has. And definitely the wind's gone from everywhere. It's a beautiful night here for cricket.
That is good. It's been blowing a gale down here recently.
That's a good shot.
Well.
Oh, big Cornish down there nicely.
Well, he's taken a divot as well, Cornish. Better replace that, mate. But a good job going to his right. I think he maybe just fumbled the ball, but there was always going to be a couple in it. So boundaries are the order of the day. They're not coming at the moment. They haven't really come off anyone bat besides Nathan Webb. He's gone for 42. We've now got a new top scorer in Manson, who's done it mostly in 1s and 2s. One ferocious 6 onto the roof of the shopping centre. Another one which went through a similar region nicely, but the rest has been done in the picket fence variety. And with one left here, Chris Hobson, here wrenching 121 might not be enough. Well, it's got them in the game. 130 is the target now. It's been a good comeback here for the Knights just to keep this target at one stage. 150 was on track. They've never really been on top, though, have they? Wellington, they've always kind of been coming from behind. Those wickets early on have really hurt their back-end run chase.
And it was like that little partnership between Manson and Phillips. They need to put it on there. If they lost a wicket there, they could have been bowled over 100.
Yep.
Now they've got the chance to probably get to 130.
So Rose diving athletically, trying to get away. They'll get a couple here down to long off.
But a terrible throw.
It was a little sloppy, but I think there was always a couple in there. So Manson's hitting. Mid-wicket I still think's an option. He's trying to hit it straight. And Rose is dragging the ball outside off and back of a length.
Well, there is a big gap straight between long on and long off.
And I don't think he's going to try and take on the ramp shot because there's no fielders behind square, which in this form of cricket's not unusual, but I reckon Clive Rose has rarely bowled at the depth in big bash cricket where there's been no one behind square in the last over, or really only Cornish just behind square in the leg.
This is the free hit for Burgess.
Well, they're only going to take one.
Just happy with the single.
Tell you what, Burgess was keen to get back, but there might have been 2 there, but Manson feels comfortable to take on these last couple of deliveries from Clive Rose. He's trying to get that long off, yeah, a little bit wider. That's the right call. Get him a bit squarer. Get him in front near that light tower. Manson goes exactly where. Exactly where. Clive Rose knew what he's doing. There's a chance here at the bowler's end, and Clive Rose could get it.
He's got it, I think.
I think he's run him out. Clive Rose has 2 run-outs. Burgess looks very disappointed. He looked out. He's looked back at the umpire. Clive Rose, little backhander onto the stumps. Burgess looked like he was struggling the whole time.
That's his Victorian indoor cricket days coming out from Clive Rose. There. Look away throw. One stump to aim for.
Classic, wasn't it?
On your way, Ash. That replay is going to be good to see.
What's there? 1 ball left, is there? Or are there 2 balls left here? As Thomas comes in to bat here for Wellington. We'll just see this on the replay. He wasn't coming back at a great pace, Burgess. Got a bit of a hurry on there. Don't know if he's even bat was ground. It's hard to tell from that angle. We might get a cutaway shot of that one, Jero. No, nothing on action. So I think a couple of years ago, we had an SCA Grand Final and there was a run-out which was absolutely perfectly called. And we got it live on Duff TV, and Cricket Taz have been using that as an example of good umpiring. Now that's smacked, that's big, that's handsome. And that is 4 runs. Well, I thought it might have had the journey to go all the way, but not quite. With 1 left, a much-needed boundary from Manson as he reaches his half-century. Not much of applause. Maybe they don't know over in the wet area. So fine half-century from Manson, and with the ball left from Rose, just gets a check from the umpire. That's the ball, mate. And he's going to try and repeat that again. High.
There's going to be
one. Not timed at all. They're going to get 2. How about that? Well, he smacked the last. It's been a fine innings from Manson. He brought his team back, 54 to him. But overall, is 130 going to be enough? Chris Hobson. In fact, sorry, there's actually a ball left.
Seems to be a long over, this one.
Must have missed one. Little delay here. Is the umpire there just fixing his shoe up? What was that? Clive Rose was going to run in without him even there. A little bit cheeky.
I think another 4 or 6 here. That one, anything over 135 is going to be very easy to defend for the Warriors.
That boundary's been handy this over. Clever. He went to leg. Try to work it. They're going to go back for a second. There's a shot on here. And he gets through for a couple to end. Thomas did his job. Came out and just ran for Manson. Manson in the end did his job with a boundary in that last over, 56 to him. 134 is the final score here. 7 down Wellington. Chris Hobson, is that enough?
You would like to think as a Warrior supporter, you'd back your bowlers in to defend that. Anything over 6 and over is always going to be defended in our competition. Knights are going to need to get off to a great start. And if they can, anything can happen. But if they start losing quick wickets, with the Warriors' support here, they'll get right behind their boys and they might be able to bring home another Premiership Cup to Eady Street.
Well, it all started with wickets early. So McConnell bowled the first over, was a little off, but then Cornish double wicket over. I think it might have been the 6th over of the match. Turned the tide right back towards the Knights. Clive Rose at the top as well, bowled well. And then Paul came on. 4 overs, 1 for 20. I think he did a really good job. Richardson was good for 13. We'll just quickly go through the bowling figures. McConnell, 4 overs, none for 30. Clive Rose at the end there, 1 for 37 off his 4. Cornish was outstanding. 3 overs, 2 for 18. Those double wickets. Great length bowling from him. Paul, the off spinner. There we go. Got capacity to do a cut and paste there, Jero. 2 overs from Richardson and Maher at the end. 3 overs, 1 for 14. Got the wicket. Top scorer, though, was Manson, not out, 56. Webb with a fine, 42. We're going to have a little break here on Duff TV, but we're going to have those interviews again, though. It's Chris Hobson caught up with both captains at the toss. And we'll hear from them. And don't go anywhere in Duff TV. We've got the chase in the grand final. 135 is what the Knights need to take out this premiership.
I've elected to bat. First of all, just ask Nathan, what's your go with batting first?
I just personally think runs on the board come finals is a massive thing. You set the foundation early, set the tone early. It's a bit of danger. These blokes have chased down big scores. They've only lost really 1 game all year, and that's the team they batted first. So we've gone against that, and we're going to try back ourselves, our ability. So
you guys have the firepower, no doubt about that. Yourself in fine form. You got Wayne Quarrell playing, Isaac Manson coming in that could also hit down the bottom. Is the idea to just start off quickly and then cash in at the end, or just go from ball 1?
I just think you pick your targets. I think the first 6 overs is obviously fields up, you play your shots, you don't play nothing stupid if it's not there, and then the middle orders we sort of consolidate, and then obviously have fitting power at the end. That's our plan.
Well, good luck for the rest of the game, mate, and talk to you later. All right, that's from Nathan. Now we just get over to Mark from the Knights. Knights, what would you prefer to have done, bat or bowl?
We would have bowled. Yeah, would have bowled. We've chased well all year, and I think setting can be hard in that you don't really know what a good score is.
You've got the firepower there of the ball to actually, restrict the Wellington batsmen there. They do have a lot of power up top and in the middle. Your bowler's going to be able to come back from, the second round in the preliminary rounds where you've actually, got handed to. You're going to come back a lot stronger.
I think so. I think with Clive and some of our slower bowlers, take the pace off. I think Wellington light the pace on, and we've got the bowlers to slow it down a bit. So I think that's what we'll do.
Now, last year, Andrew Cornish sort of set the world on fire here, and when you guys come up from second grade to the T20 and just dominated in 60 out of 23 balls. Has he got another one of those innings in him today?
He definitely has. He's just about due. He's hitting them really well in the nets. He just hasn't put it together in a game yet. So hopefully tonight's the night.
Well, good luck for the rest of the game. We'll see you at the break. Good luck. All right, guys.
There's that short boundary straight away. It's going to be on here, and that's a boundary to kick it off.
That's straight to his bread and butter. Anything square of the week on the offside, especially over covers, Webb will punish him.
On this ground in the right conditions. So the Knights are going to have to be on their game early. As you said, Hobbo just drifting onto the legs. There's a chance for a run out, and I think he might have given him. And there is the arm in the air. So a mix-up at the bowler's end. He pushed, he took off straight away. May have been ball watching. And Clive Rose in his follow-through zipped across the wicket. And as easy as ever, side on, took the stumps down, the first wicket's down. And that is exactly what the Knights needed.
Exactly, great start.
Looked at this matchup, Rose, Farrelly, could be interesting. Webb on strike.
That's a cracking shot through covers.
Well, that is, I've seen a bit of Webb bat. I reckon that's classic Webb, isn't it? Maybe that long off's a better option. Oh, he's given him. Well, I thought that might have been a little bit high. Clive Rose was very exuberant, and Farrelly is gone. Good lengths. It's obviously setting the right fields, but Cornish showing some experience at the moment.
Oh, he's got him. Caught behind. He is bowling absolutely amazing, the Corns.
Well, I just wanted that little nibble away. That extra bounce we talked about in his first over. And so steady the ship time, you'd think.
Right here. Oh, he's got another one.
Oh, their arm is raising. Cornish
is on fire.
Absolutely buzzing. And he's just run the fastest 14 metres he's done in his life. And he's got 2 in an over. And the massive wicket of Quarrelly out without troubling the scorers. Just getting the field set here. Early stages SCA Grand Final. Knights are on top thanks to a Cornish double.
There we go, straight through cover again.
There's a quality of Webb. Second boundary through that area. Flied it a little bit. And 4 bits, and I'll enjoy that. That'll keep the momentum going. Around that deep mid, I should say deep mid-wicket area. As the first ball's going out to that deep cover, but that is magnificent. Gee, I reckon that's the third boundary through that exact spot, Hobbo.
It is. They're just not waking up to the shot he plays.
Short side and the slopey side towards the village cinemas here at Eady Street. Now that's going to have to be cut off because that is rocketing off the wood that Webb is holding and smashes in front of the wet area there. That made a beautiful sound.
And that is...
A lot of them aren't particularly wide, and if you try and throw it too far and wide, it can often hit the turf.
Yes. That's 6. That's over.
Oh, just missing 2 cars. The bus has left the vicinity, and we have been warning the people travelling up and down. If you're listening somehow to Dove TV and you think you're going to come up towards Chapel and towards Glenorchy, just be aware there's some action and Webb is on strike.
Yeah, probably the longest boundaries are straight wicket, like even the one down here towards the van here. It's a good hit. If you're going to clear the boundary here, you hit it probably at least 80 to 90 metres.
High, very high, and that's massive. Well, I just felt that mid-wicket fence was an option. Just thought that Webb was going to try and find the car park here at Eady Street, and all he did was find a fielder's waiting hands. And hands there. There's those 2 fielders, thanks to Martin Duffy there listening in. And we've got a bit of courage on the offside and down the ground, but yeah, an extra fielder inside the circle. Just keep those singles down. That's not going to help.
Massive.
Hello, that's gigantic.
That's roof. That's on the subway roof.
Well, if you ordered some sort of roll at Subway, you might have just got a cricket ball landed in it. And I'm not sure what the... Yeah, trying to find the main road there, Manson. Richardson's good length at the moment. There's that good length again. That's hit high, wide, and out towards the straight mid-wicket fence and crashes
4 runs.
into that aforementioned bit of metallic coverage there. The police car on strike them up.
Yeah, they'll be hoping at least a minimum a boundary and over the Knights.
Well, I think he's gone. Well, I reckon we've missed
He's
that.
bowled him.
Yeah, no, I just missed
Straight
it.
through the
You
gate.
saw the celebration. Kobe actually started running off the ground like he was going for a single.
Yeah, I thought it was just educated down to third man.
And unfortunately, front near that light tower. Manson goes
Hits it
exactly
straight to
where.
him.
Exactly
They're gonna
where.
come for two.
Clive Rose knew what he's doing. There's a chance here at the bowler's end, and Clive Rose could get it.
He's got it, I think.
I think
That's another
he's run him
perfect
out.
one.
Clive Rose has 2 run-outs. Burgess looks very disappointed. He looked out. He's looked back at the umpire. Clive Rose, little backhander onto the stumps. Burgess looked like he was struggling the whole time.
That's his Victorian indoor cricket days coming out from Clive Rose. There. Look away throw.
Repeat that again.
It could
High.
be- There's going to be
It's
one.
not
Come
timed
back for
at all.
two.
They're going to get 2. How about that? Well, he smacked the last. It's been a fine innings from Manson. He brought his team back, 54 to him. But overall, is 130 going to be enough? Chris Hobson. In fact, sorry, there's actually a ball left. Try to work it. They're going to go back for a second. There's a shot on here. And he gets through for a couple to end. Thomas did his job, came out and just ran for Manson. Manson, in the end, did his job with a boundary in that last over, 56 to him. 134 is the final score here. 7 down, Wellington. Welcome back here. Duff TV, Aaron Peach Roberts, Chris Hobson. And chase is on as Andrew Downton just giving some final instructions to the Warriors team, getting his field ready to go. We've got the 2 batters ready in the middle to chase. 136 for victory for the Knights. A compelling first 20 overs, Chris Hobson and Clark and Austin to set the scene here for the Knights.
They're going to have to get a good start, especially Andrew Down. He will not take a backward step. He'll be in going for blood from ball 1.
He was in the commentary box in the last lot of T20s when we had, I think, 4 in a row at Old Beach last year. It was good fun to chat to.
Oh, no ball straight up.
Well, how about that for a start? 5 off the first. Boundary down the ground. A no ball. There's going to be a free hit. Plenty in the first 30 seconds of this chase here for the Knights. Tell you what, nice shot from Clark, wasn't it?
That was a beautiful shot. I'd like to see the replay on that.
We're about 120 metres here with a directional mic and just see the replay. Nice stance, traditional.
That is a great shot.
And tell you what, the umpire's arm was out.
I've used playing that shot no matter what.
Yeah, so let's see what happens here with a free hit. He's bowled it wide.
Great catch, though.
Well, he's run 20 metres down the ground, Doughton. He thought he had a wicket, and then I think his brain, the synapses clicked into play to say, no, mate, that was a free hit. You bowled a no ball. Now the smile comes on.
You're not going to see a better catch from a keeper there, though.
Absolutely ruined that statistic. Wouldn't say it was great footwork, but it was a cracking finish. Webb magnificent.
His mum would do the washing, or his new lovely wife would.
Yeah.
Nathan would never do the washing.
Tell you what, entertaining start here. The first two balls have had plenty. And we can see just that little bit of extra pace from Doughton and now Misfield.
Oh, and a wayward throw.
Wow. Holy trousers, we're away. 3 balls in. One of them was a no ball. One was a boundary. One was a catch. Didn't result in a wicket. We've had a misfield and nearly an overthrow. And now, after all that, we've got Austin on strike. Any intel, Chris, when you wanted into the to the bar area between the innings?
It's very hesitant from the Wellington boys. Like, they're confident, I would say, the spectators. Like, they always are here. They back their boys 100%. But they're not chasing much. 136 to win, which is going to be a very good run chase. So we'll go down the last few overs in this innings.
Yeah, I feel the same as well. I think it's going to be very tight. It's just enough on the scoreboard from the Wellington Warriors, but not enough to make them feel comfortable. And certainly with this quality bowling lineup, with a couple of good spinners, we've got a former first-class cricketer here who's had plenty of action over his life and plenty of stories to tell, Andrew Downton. We're in for action here. I hope you're enjoying it on Tough TV. SCA T20 Grand Final.
Another no ball.
Well, he's not happy either. And it was a bit of a later call too. So Paul Doran, the first one, I reckon he pinged his arm out as Downton ran past.
I was just about to say before that ball, I think Austin could be the key to get the Knights off to a quick start. When he scores very quickly. And be interested to see what he does with this free hit. This is what you want when you're on 0. A free hit to get off the mark as an opening batsman. Will it be full or short? I reckon he might try and hit him in the tit here.
Well, he's given it a whack. Backward a point, smack. 2 boundaries in the over. It's been a mixture from Downton. He's bowled some good deliveries. There's been 2 free hits. One's resulted in a wicket, but wasn't a wicket, and another's resulted in a flashing square cut.
I'll tell you what, their bats are sounding amazing, both Clark and Austin.
Yeah, it was all right from Austin, was he? Loaded up for that one.
See if he keeps the rush of blood going.
Century in 5th grade this year, Austin. A little bit higher standard today, though. He's opening the batting here with a open face, Ejaz Ahmed style.
Oh,
that wasn't Ejaz Ahmed style. That was another bit of misfielding in the ring there, and a single got.
Bit rusty there by Daniel Muir.
He's usually better than that, isn't he, Daniel? Now, I find this time in the nets around about now is when you get the older ball out with a bit of grass on. It's getting a little darker. It's going to get hard as this game gets on for both the fielding and the batting team, isn't it? Sun's going to go down.
I think probably about half an hour.
Yeah.
The sun will go behind that hill, just to our left, over the back of their Claremont area.
Yeah, the sun high in the... You're right, the sun high in the sky at the moment. The actual mountain, strange enough, plays a role in this part of the world. And actually, you lose the sun around about this time of year a little bit earlier than, say, even 5 or 6 weeks ago when it even wasn't quite as high. So that'll play a role. The shadows will play a role here as they've nearly got some shadows out onto it. It just makes it a little bit harder. And I don't want to have a crack at either side, but I imagine they don't do a lot of fielding. Not a lot. A little bit, maybe.
That's going to run. That's going to be 4.
Tell you what, that is flown down the hill, backward a point.
This field is like lightning. It's on the inside of that circle, it's like concrete. You're going to get value for your shots. It's just towards the back end of the boundaries, especially straight. It's a bit spongy. But apart from that, the rest of the ground is hard. You would not want to dive on it. You're going to take some bark off
So
your
really,
arms.
once this is outside the ring field, and that's one of the shorter boundaries,
gone.
that's give up. Don't even bother chasing it. So 17 runs off the first Downton over. We thought he'd be a key. And a little bit like when the Knights started off with McConnell, just a little sloppy, although some good cricket. I suppose the sloppy thing really was the 2 extra deliveries, and they ended up, one was a free hit boundary, and that one extra delivery was the last ball of the over, which went for 4 as well. So if you take off those 2 and the 2 boundaries that resulted, suddenly that start doesn't look quite as good.
This could be interesting with Farrelly opening the bowling from the bottom end here.
Does he always bowl his hat on? Every time I've seen Farrelly play, the hat is on while he's having his bowl.
Yeah, he's a bit like the old Greg Matthews.
Yeah. Now, there was a character.
But he's very wily here, Faz.
Tell you what, he gets through his overs quick, Farrelly, as well, doesn't he?
And it's deception sort of bowling. He just throws it up there. He'll throw the quick one every now and then, but it's just like gentle outswing.
You know what? You'd have to play him as a medium pacer, wouldn't you? You don't expect anything to spin. He does obviously put a little bit on the ball, but it's annoying. He's annoying. Suburban cricket, he nearly annoyed a wicket out there.
Good effort there at gully by Wayne Quarrell.
The old man Quarrell going down to his left hand. He looks disappointed. And he missed out. He's got a good set of hands. You might see that one on a replay to see how close that one was.
He's a little deep there, though. Sort of
really
in no man's land.
Not really a true gully, is it? Not really. Is it even a catching position? Yeah, just over the top of that. Might have just bounced in front. Hard to tell. A wicket would be needed here for Wellington just to steady things and give themselves some belief. And now, oh, just for a second, I thought they were going to launch in there to an appeal. Farrelly.
Good field here with a deep mid-wicket and deep long on. He's like he's aiming into those pads. He cannot bowl anything wide of the off stump here. Just good bowling here. Yeah,
and he's bowled to his field, hasn't he? He's come in and he hasn't bowled anything too short outside off, and they've got 4 players inside the ring fielder, including what we might call a short third man, kind of in a catching position. The rest defending that circle on the off. Anything through is 4. It's a leg side, though, where the field is set. In the air, past him again. Dangerous shot, trying to find a gap on the off. Cat and mouse stuff here between the bowler and batters.
This is an excellent start from Sean. If he bowls 4 overs for less than 20, it's going to keep him in it.
Yeah, 2 bowlers do that, and I reckon there's capacity with this. They're going to use the slow bowling with Doughton with his pace. Burgess will potentially bowl a few, but the rest of their slow bowlers are the ones that'll potentially get 12 overs out of slow stuff, and that's the end of a very good start.
I think only 2 off that over.
And that might just break even now, 19 off the first 2.
Will be very interesting to see how this over goes. Ash Burgess straight into the attack, 3rd over. Will bowl a little bit of pace, hits the pitch very hard. So it'll be interesting to see how both Clark and Austin tackle this. If he bowls wide, they will cut him to the boundary quite easily. If he gets up full and gets some driving, hope not to get a nick that's not slightly thick enough that Nathan Webb can get to, with no slip there.
He's going to bowl fairly straight though, isn't he, Burgess? And that's...
He'd have to of this field. Because he's out or a deep cover and a deep 3rd man.
That's what Burgess has got. Loping stride into the crease.
That's a great shot.
Well, it's better than great,
That's
Chris.
on the hill.
That's a 6 up. It's a glorious cricket shot to a straight mid-wicket area. And a really good start, as we'll see on the replay. Look at nice position.
I think Pup here likes the pace coming into the ball.
Tell you what, I reckon he might be okay at golf too. That was a glorious finish to that shot.
Watch out, kids on the hill. There could be another one coming.
He's not hitting towards the Eady Street, so we're safe. Well, he's gone again.
That's over again. Or is it? That's another 6.
Yeah.
2 in a row. It's a good start here.
Well, boom, boom, and suddenly, with the over at the start, with no balls, etc., from Downton, and now Burgess feeling the pinch.
He doesn't know where to bowl. He's pitched up. He's gone for 6.
Well, you know he doesn't bowl. He can't bowl.
6.
Can't bowl short, can he? Well, I mean, that's not obvious, but...
Oh, that's a cracker. That's a shot of the day from Clark. Straight over cover. 4 bits, 1 bounce over the boundary.
Well, what a start here from Clark. 27 he's raced to. Boundary sixes, and entertaining as it is.
First 3 balls, 6, 6, 4.
The grimace too from Burgess. He's going to get some advice now. We'll just see this replay. Hitting as the ball was rising up, and a glorious finish.
That's a great shot. Definitely likes the pace coming on. I think Nathan might be able to take the pace off very quickly here.
Yeah, it might be an option. I think full's the idea, but you can't want to be in the slot either. That's the spot. I mean, that's it, but you can't bowl 6 of those on over, can you? And
Definitely
Burgess will
not.
just wait for the one that isn't quite and moved into the half volley. You can might just give Burgess a bit more confidence, but you know what, from now, Clark just needs to knock a single, just keep it steady.
Exactly, he's taking 14 off the over.
Yep.
No.
So I've had a 17 off and over, now we're up to a 14 off and over.
The Knights have won this over, so just get out of it unless it's back in your wheelhouse. And there it is. That is the shot of the day.
Well, he does
6
not bother
runs straight.
settling things down as he smacks a monster down the ground. There's a couple of spectators to our right. They did not move. They could see it. The white ball flying here at Eady Street off the bat of Clark. What a stunning start to this night's chase. And we'll just see this magnificent finish.
That is unbelievable. Steady as a rock. Kids out there, if you want to learn how to play a straight drive for 6, just watch that.
Happy days here from Clark, and suddenly that 136 chase we were talking about, it was on par, maybe just a little below, suddenly feels a little bit smaller.
Definitely changing the field a bit now, but
He's not worried, Nick's
he's dropped it.
Well, the opportunity to take a specky Muir. He's already taken 1 good catch off a no ball or a free hit. He's unhappy with himself. I reckon he thought that was a chance that could have turned it back towards Wellington.
He will be ropeable. He sets very high standards, Nathan Muir, and for him, he would have taken that 9 out of 10 times.
That really
Just went
fly-
that left.
Yeah, you just see
Oh.
he pushed to the leg side as you could see Clark actually just drift his feet to allow that swinging arc down the ground. It may just put him off a little bit. They need a wicket. You can see a little conversation there between Austin and Muir.
But this is where Austin needs to just not try and follow what Clark just did. They're cruising at the moment. Even if Faz buys a maiden, they're still a mile in front of the game here. You know, put the bad ball. Faz will give you a bad ball. But if not, look for the singles if you can get them.
So Matthew Clark has really got it rocking and rolling.
Good fielding there by the old veteran Downton, diving to his right. He'll be a bit sore tomorrow when he gets up. Oh, that's a good shot off his pose for 4 runs.
Well, another boundary, this time from Austin. He's smacked that to leg, a bit of a waft, very effective. So these 2 openers for the Knights are both into the action now. As Matty Clark are enjoying his ability, but we know Austin can smack him as well. Oh, that one just a little bit quicker through the air, just tempting him to try and knock it down the ground, and I should say play a cut shot. Good bowling from Farrelly. Well, that's in there.
That sounded very nice.
There was a player coming around. He might as not be there. He's better be in the car park.
Oh, it's hit Berkey's company car, has it?
It's only just missed mine as well.
I tell you, that is a cracker of a shot.
Well, there's a few people a little worried. They might want to start moving their vehicles.
Let's see if it hit the company car. It's on the money. Oh, that's nearly a trip away in the old paddy wagon, that one.
So Austin starting to get things going. Interesting, though. There's a few play and misses out here. They're certainly very motivated to keep the momentum going, but at none for 52 in the 4th over. They have more than on track here.
It's a dream start for the Knights. It's a pretty good shot. He's hit him off the middle.
Might just need to consider someone like Phillips maybe at this end. Will they go with Burgess again? I suspect not. Maybe Kobe with some little leggies. Maybe Manson as well.
Probably Manson might be the one to go.
Take the pace, sort of slides the ball in, doesn't he, Manson? Try and get a bit of a look at what Muir's plans are here.
Looks like they're going Kobe Phillips. Nathan's
Yes.
having a chat to him. But he darts them in, though. There's no flight. It's like bowling with throwdowns to him. So if Clark can pick it up easy, there's still 2 overs of the power play to go.
Yeah, true. I think they need a wicket. They need to find a wicket. And they need to find 2 wickets, really. They need both these players out. Matty Clark's off to a bit of a stunner here. So Doughton's 1 over 16 plus a no ball and also wide in there. Farrelly, he's been okay. Burgess, his over went for 22. Just amazing how 2 overs have turned this game to the Knights after a half century to Manson with the bat and Webb with 42. The Wellington innings, which we felt was 15 or so short of what would have been a little bit more of a competitive score, but in a grand final against such a good bowling attack. Now it's a slinging around arm action of young Kobe Phillips, who's not that young anymore.
The 2 boundary riders we have deep mid off and a deep mid wicket. So he's looking to probably bowl straight. Oh, that's really wide.
Tell you what, I don't reckon if he went any more round arm, Kobe Phillips' left arm's going to scrape on the turf.
Bit of a Lasif Malinga there, just about the pace.
Without the pace. Yeah, look, it's very hard to hit.
There's no bounce.
Literally, he's trying to double bounce it, isn't he? And that was literally a rank half, a short ball. Was that bounce nearly halfway down the pitch and still didn't get up? Yeah, there's that one, and he just changes and flicks it out, sort of pushes it out of his fingers, and it gets a little bit more height. So Phillips is showing.
I think if he bowls this wide, Tommy also is going to go straight over cover.
It's not a bad option as well.
Oh,
that could be out.
Oh.
Well, how about that?
the sucker balls picked him up.
The delivery that should not get a wicket does get a wicket. A half track previous, 2 balls ago, and then he bowled a loopy one, and then the old full toss, waist height, straight to mid wicket, and Austin gone.
That should have gone up into the housing department units.
Well, it certainly should have gone a little bit away from the fielders. So often full tosses get wickets from spinners. Not deliberate. He took a bit of pace off it. And a few people yelling out, is that a no ball? Well, it's not a no ball against his pace bowling. I think you feel pretty comfortable. It has to be higher than that to be a no ball.
You've got to hit them. You just can't. Like, I've got plenty of wickets with full tosses. So don't get me wrong, they are sucker balls, but that should have gone. He'd be very disappointed.
Well, they've still got a good start here. Clark's still there on 34. The off spinner, all-rounder Paul, who can bat, coming in now. He's had a pretty good T20 bash so far. Nice little inning against Richmond, Cambridge last week when it was required. And St Anne's, he smacked him around as well. So Paul more than capable. There's a Sandy Bay, South Harbour Sandy Bay player, Matty Clark down one end. Bit of action here in the Duff TV headquarters. That dominant offside field there, just protecting that boundary towards the leg side as it gets a single.
Oh, got it!
Oh, Matty Clark just needs to keep doing what he's doing. He's a mile ahead of the game at the moment. Oh,
Gee, I thought I heard a noise there. We aren't quite skilled enough. I've been talking to Duff about getting a mic in the stumps, but we might have to work on that one. But I thought I heard a little noise there on the directional mic. We'll see.
look how low he bowls that.
Yeah.
That's coming from around his hip.
Thing is, though, it's effective, particularly on these synthetic turf wickets.
It is. Probably the good thing about not having a mic, though, we don't have to listen to Nathan Muir.
I was thinking we don't want to see some of the banter out there, do we, either?
Oh, some would be awesome. Nathan Muir and Wayne Quarrell close is some of the funniest things you'll ever hear in your life out in the cricket field.
Yeah, a little bit of banter's okay.
And Farrelly to continue his third over, bowling really well.
So another one of their T20 recruits for these games. Clarence, first grader here, Paul on strike. Mostly renowned for his little off spinners. He did a nice job, 1 for 20 in the middle of the innings to keep things going the Knights' way. And he's playing as a top order all-rounder here in this T20 Grand Final. Duff TV action, Farrelly with a hat on, coming away from the river end or the showground end of the ground, and a couple of dot balls. They need a few more of them, Chris.
They need a lot more of those.
Well, actually, we said, but they needed 2 wickets. So they've got one of them, so they need to get another one, preferably Clark the way he's going. I just wonder, though, if that wicket might just slow Clark down, or do you think he'll still keep hitting?
I don't know. Honestly, it's the first time I've seen him play, and I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I tell you what, I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more. Not a 50-over player in the SCA, just coming in and playing some T20 games. I think young Clark, I think he's predominantly a second grader for South Hobart Sandy Bay.
It'd be good if Knights can actually pick him up for next season, 50-over competition. So that's the idea of having these guys coming back from Premier League. Hopefully they will stay for the next season in the 50-over comp. Enjoy the competition.
Could that been too unfair? Take the aspiration out and make it sit in the Southern Cricket Association, which I know you're the vice president of, and I'm a president of a very suburban, relaxed cricket club here in the SCA as well, which is one of the reasons we love it. It's a bigger bill.
Just down leg by the look of that one.
Yeah, no, I do love the comp. Very well administered comp, and I work in sports admin. I know how well the comp's going these days. And
I think the way, though, if you're a player like, you say, Matty Clark's there, if you're not going to be playing state cricket or aspirations to play at that high level.
Yeah, he's probably just off a very strong first grade side at South Hobart Sandy Bay. I don't think he's a first grader, maybe in a team which isn't full. I don't know as much about him as some of the others out here, but yeah, it's probably a fair call. But then in saying that, he potentially pushing for extra honours. I don't think he's that old. Good over, though, from Farrelly. Looks like he's going to bowl out. Still got some options here. Maybe Manson. Downton actually could come back on now when things are just slowed up. Wonder, though, would he potentially could bowl him, although Matty Clark's still in. If Paul was on strike, he nearly might go Downton. Get in and get him out.
At the end of the power play, Knights are 1 for 56. Kobe Phillips to continue with his right arm bowling from the stump height. Picked up the wicket, so let's see if he can do it again.
So box seat here, Knights. The first third of their chase of 136. Phillips trying to wangle and sneak another wicket. About runs just slowing, but because of such a ferocious start from Austin and Clark, they're well in front of this chase. They can be restrictive as that one nearly hitting the couch grass here at Eady Street. That one's tossed up. Hello. Hello. Gee, for a second I thought it was going to the fielder. There's Bird just coming around and
has a rocket arm. Don't know where he's thrown it to.
Well, he's throwing it to another ground, I think.
Just seeing if they were backing up, they're awake. Could be another wide.
You know what, that's tough. Slow bowler. I reckon that's... Doran's in a better position than me, and that probably technically is past, but you can see Muir just chatting, going, oh, hang on, is that really too far out of reach for a slow bowl against a right-arm batter? That's nicely timed, a sweeper out there. So after the ferocious, energetic start here from the Knights, just slowed down a little bit. A wicket has changed things, and really it only was, Chris, 2 amazing overs and one a little sloppy from Doughton, a little unlucky. The rest has actually been quite good.
It has been very competitive. Sean Farrelly has kept the Warriors right in it, and now Kobe's even slowed it down from this bottom end. So they just need to put a partnership in together with the bowling lineup.
Yeah, there's that working himself, and that's got through. Might be a couple here. No, it's a short boundary. I'll tell you what, they're going to have to get a bit of a hurry on here. The throw just lacking a little bit of velocity in the end and a couple of runs.
It's very deceptive, that side of the ground. You see it's probably short, but when you look side on here, it does look like it's a decent size.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably deceptive from this side. There's a
Down again. He's given it all today in the field.
No, he won't give up, Downton.
He'll make up for his over. He'll come back even harder.
He was involved in a dramatic semi-final game in the SCA T20 finals last year at Old Beach, where They needed a couple of runs in the semi-final to make it. And I think he was bowling that last over. There was all sorts of action going on. Kept his calm. They still didn't make it through, though, Wellington. They'd be desperate here, wouldn't they, Wellington? They love trophies back at Warrior Park here at Eady Street. So they'll be keen here to push on and find a way to get another wicket.
Yeah, the very proud history of the Warriors. Like, so many first-grade premierships. Even go back to a few years ago, 5 first-grade flags in a row. That's very hard to do, and no one's ever done it before. And I missed out the last couple of years, and they're up again this year. So I'll be interested to see how it goes. And
Well,
in the 50 over comp, you can probably throw the blanket over 4 teams.
Yep.
And in the day, anyone can win it, and Warriors are definitely one of those.
Well, the Knights are on top here. They need less than a run of ball at the moment. 64, 1 wicket down. They can actually afford just to see out Farrelly here. 5.5 and over required. What a start! What a huge! That's bombed.
A mile. That's hitting the car. That has hit the car.
Oh, whoops a daisy.
That's windscreen.
And that lady down there, or lass or lad, or whoever it is, they are going for shelter.
Call windscreens O'Brien for that one.
Blimey, Charlie, that was a beauty.
That is the biggest 6 today.
We'll just see that one here again. This angle's not going to say we're going to get a cutaway there. It wasn't even that bad a delivery from Farrelly. I'm just seeing that one land out of the stratosphere.
Well,
oh!
Straight on it.
Looked like the top of that little ute there. Rightio, so...
Oh, there's a nice little dent on that.
Well, hopefully he's got insurance.
Great picture work there, Duff.
I am generally thinking I should go and move my ute. I can see it. If he's going to smash it well. Write it off for me. What a bomb! Action aplenty here.
Picked that up so cleanly.
Well, for a second I thought he was going to
go again.
Yeah. Action aplenty. Clark on 43. In fact, that might be Paul actually a bit further up there. It's Farrelly in again. He's going. Flatter. There's a fielder coming around. He should be out.
It has run. 4 bits.
That's that fast boundary just in front of Kobe Phillips. I can tell you what, if anyone was going to save that, it would be Kobe Phillips. But
it's a very quick outfield here. I don't think he got all that neither. We'll just race off there after the first bounce.
He goes again, this time on the off, but there's the ring fielder.
Field again.
Clark looking for his half century. What a stunning knock here. He's turned this game on ahead. He's come in and played these T20s for the Knights. And he might be trying to drag them at 1 for 74. Towards a premiership here. Still a bit to do. Plenty of changes can happen. Clever from Farrelly, just throwing one a little wider. And Paul, the new batter, in at the crease, who can certainly bat. Just happy with that one. He really just needs to knock boundaries here, Paul, doesn't he? Just knock the boundary and Clark's going to do it with his own bat. He's finding...
Played in partnerships, that's all you got to do. And after 7 overs, they are 1 for 75.
Well, the thing about this at the moment, Chris, is that Clark's having no trouble hitting at 360, isn't he? Yeah, he's hit a few to leg, but he's hit well over extra cover. He's hit one down the ground early on in his innings. His capacity to hit around the ground, which just makes it doubly hard as a bowler, doesn't it? And as a fielding team as well, to work out what your strategy is.
It does. Maybe change the bowling to come around and aim at his legs.
Yeah, jam it in, you reckon?
And just set the field for that. And if he's going to go hit over off stump, he's going to have to make a lot of room at the crease to actually try and adjust that. But it's a lot easier said than done. You've got the most experienced bowler in the competition in Downton coming back. And he's bowling to Clark. So
would they be tempted to stick a slip in place? I know it'd be gutsy, but I mean, Clark, maybe not to Clark, maybe potentially when Paul comes back on strike, they've got to get a wicket. They don't get 2 wickets in the next 2 overs. This game could be over in the next 15, 20 minutes.
Well, I haven't seen a slip since ball 1 of this innings, which is usually Wellington like to attack. You know, it's like they're just going through the motions. I hate to say it, but yeah, they probably are at the moment.
We've got a fielder now just going on the offside boundary, deep point. There's a little bit of there's no real set plan here for me.
Just waiting for Clark to make a mistake, then they'll probably attack. But
yeah, down the ground's an option. There's long off and long on, but they're very, very wide positions. So So Downton back into the attack after
It's a great shot.
an engaging first over. That's once again neatly timed as Clark up to 48. I think our score's 74. There we go. Just getting our score right here. Chris has got a complicated spreadsheet here, which Pots and Pans man's made very uncomplicated. But unfortunately, with all the action that Chris wants to come and watch the cricket, and so do I, because plenty of action happening at the moment. Sometimes we don't necessarily get the score spot on.
Apologies there, I'm enjoying the sixes. Yeah. It is amazing to watch. If you're not here live, you're missing out on how good this is at the moment.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying it out there in the land of Duff TV. Once again, thanks to Southern Cricket Association, the Cricket Hub, Good Sports, Kookaburra and the Bendigo Bank, the sponsors of the largest cricket association north of Terra del Fuego in South America. If anyone's been to Punta Arenas down there, I think they've got a cricket comp down there. The southernmost city in the world. And we're number 2. So steady here from Downton. There's Paul on strike and looking to try and slay that one through the off. And a little cry from Muir behind the stumps, nothing happening. I'm just trying to work out, Chris, where this wicket's coming from. I still think a slip needs to come into play, and by that shot from Paul, it's probably not a bad option. You've got 3 players in the ring on the off. They're not really stopping and keeping him on strike either. They bring another fielder inside the circle. They've got to try something now.
He's got a bowl outside the off stump. There's only one person on the leg, and that's at a 45 on the square.
Well, if you had
out on the
I mean, you bring mid off, and that stops that double. I mean, they get an easy 2 there. You bring long off up inside the circle. Try and keep him on strike. I mean, it was still an easy 2 with long off back. Muir needs to find something here.
Like even the ring fielders, they're not in really any good catching positions. They're just there for the one.
Downton maybe needs to bowl or LB.
There's his wicket.
There it is. Downton produces just what the doctor of cricket ordered. And the doctor at the moment is Andrew Downton, and he hit the pegs. Well, we did call it. Got to hit the pegs.
I think it was either pegs or LBs.
Yeah. Let's see this one in the replay. A little bit of extra zip and hit the top of off. And a happy bowler and a happy captain. Second wicket down. And a little bit of belief as Paul is on his way.
I mean, the captain, Brasendale, is coming out now.
Well, we know Brasendale is more than capable. Did a good job behind the stumps. And now he's got to steady things a little bit, but still a runner ball from here for the Knights as Paul looks a little bit annoyed by some good bowling from Downton.
I think Wellington will be up and about now. They just need that wicket to get through.
Well, they need Downton to be pumped, don't they? And he's
Yes.
such a key factor, a big driver. I mean, he might need to bowl another over, which I think's okay. I think there Manson and Phillips and Coe can bowl some slow bowls at the end. But I from here, I can't see them restricting them through 100 to under 136. I think a bowling, or I should say batting collapse, is the only option, as Kobe Phillips has changed around to.
What do they need? 50 runs off 12 overs.
Yep.
So that's what, just over 4 and over. There's no need to take a stupid risk.
Well under a runner ball.
But they're going to get bad balls. They're going to get short balls, over pitch balls. As Clark's proven, he can put them away.
Yeah, well, Clark hasn't had a lot of strike in the last little while, so I'm interested to see here. He's on strike. Brasnell at the non-striker's end as Kobe Phillips gets his arm up and shooting that sun. Stick my head out the window a minute to see if that's going to be a problem. Tell you what, it's not going to be a problem because Kobe Phillips doesn't get the ball above the eye line, so nor does his body get above the eye line, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem if he's bowling. So the lefty Brasendale, he's got no change of field at the moment. They've kept it pretty much the same. So he can knock one into the leg and just get off strike, or if he wants to try and take an offside field backward of square against Phillip, which if he does squirt one, it's an option. No, they've actually covered that area now. So they've just fixed that gap there on the offside. It's a much better field. What do you reckon, Chris? Bring everyone inside. They've literally just got to stymie the things here, round the wicket.
So if you bring this guy up, it's a dot ball.
Well, I actually don't understand why he's gone round the wicket, because he's brought an extra player across to the offside. He's going round the wicket, which means the angle's going to allow the left-hander just to knock to leg and get a single. And we know Brasendale will just work the ball square of the wicket.
And that first ball, he's not going to whip off his legs for six.
No, absolutely. He's going to be conservative. He knows the game. Clark, though, you see him winding up, is off the back foot and creams it to the inner ring.
Fisher's knowing the game, knowing the situation of it. He's not going to want to come in and go hammer and tongs, because they only need to run a ball, basically.
Well, it's a difference.
So he's not going to take a risk.
Absolutely. The boundaries to float, haven't they? I mean, much more capacity for
That is
another
nice
monster.
again. That's a car.
Nah, we're okay. We're safe.
Oh,
That might be-
window.
Tell you what. Is this ground big enough? Is this meet regulation standards here, Hobby? You're on the... is this? I think it's 50 metres is the minimum ground size for Southern Cricket Association. I suspect there's no minimum at the moment. 100 metres wouldn't be enough for Clark. He's got his half century. He's got that half century off. I think 26 deliveries are going at close to 200. I reckon that was even top edged. Down on one knee and slaying it to deep mid wicket for another
win.
six up.
Straight off the window. I hope it's reinforced glass over there.
Everything's reinforced in Glenorchy.
Yeah. At least now they've got the gate in the fence.
Yeah, that's handy. Even the people are reinforced in Glenorchy. Great community out here.
Let's see what he's going to do. He's still coming round the wicket to him.
Yeah. Well, it's flat and hard.
It's probably not a good idea to be doing
And there's
this.
a little lad running around there that nearly lost his drink bottle, his cricket bat. He's only got a plastic one. I reckon the only way that the Wellington Warriors can win this is they swap that bat with Clark, and Clark has to bat with that little plastic bat and a tennis ball. He'd probably still hit it for six. What a display, though. But I just wonder if Phillips is not... Well, he's trying to cut the angle down. I get the rationale coming round the wicket, but maybe that's the option. Just bowl full tosses like he did to get a wicket.
It's when it bounces, it's going for six, full toss. Unless it's getting a wicket, it's a single or a dot.
Yeah, you could be right, Holbrook. Good stuff. Well, I hope you are enjoying this innings from Matty Clark. We are loving it here on Dove TV. He's raced to 59. The score is raced to 88. And you feel the life and the heartbeat of this Wellington Grand Final chase is starting to flutter on the negative side. The blood pressure's going up for the Knights supporters because they can feel a victory. They're going to have to turn it around the next 7 or 8 deliveries.
I think Downton needs another wicket at least this over.
Yeah, well, he's got Brasendale on strike. Get a slip in. Get a slip in, Nathan. Try something. I think he's ring-filled a little bit. There's an easy single again on the leg. So left-arm bowler bowling to a left-arm batter round over the wicket. So easy for him just to work that angle for a single to get off strike, and it brings Clark back on strike. Need to fill that gap on the leg side.
That's all Brasendale will be trying to do.
Well, there he goes. He tries to get it there. Now, they've actually appealed then. Good stuff.
Off the pad.
From Doran. Flick the pad. We heard a noise.
Even there, he's lucky to get a while of that with fine leg up in the circle.
Yeah. Dangerous ball. That short side, but I suppose that trajectory is a little bit harder to whip it away, especially with a new batter. Oh, he's got him! Is this the turn, the twist and turn of the wormy thing? And the left arm of Downton has struck twice and has sending the captain of the Knights back to the pavilion here.
Set up well.
That was magnificent.
With Clive Rose coming in now, if he gets out, the pressure for Knights is on.
I'll tell you what, it might turn around, and we want to make the game of this Clive Rose with his University Kingborough Tigers.
Good Yorker.
Gee, he wasn't far. He was a fair way off that, wasn't he?
Only half out. He's only taken one bail. Going down, you're better than that.
There's a bail and 2 stumps left. Look at that from Downton. Clark, there we go. He's looking for something in the air. Well, that's where all the balls have been going, Clive. Up in the air, mate. Always has his shirt untucked, Clive Rose. I like the cut of his jib, though. Those that know anything about basketball, and the jack jumpers are up and about at the moment, but I used to watch the basketballs in the 90s. There's a guy called, this is actually a irrelevant anecdote here, Chris, but just go with it for a second. David Stiff, who played for the Devils in the mid-90s, whenever he was playing well, the shirt used to become more untucked. And by the end of the game, if he was having a good game, shirt fully untucked, looked as scruffy as anything. And I always feel Clive always has got the shirt or the the top untucked, ready for action.
Well, I think he did start the bowling innings with it tucked in.
Yeah, he did. I like the black sneakers though, with the black look.
Should just let him know there's chalk behind the stumps, Clive. You don't need to do that with your boots.
Yeah, do you reckon he grounded out? Even Steve Smith couldn't put a hole in this wicket. So Rose, Downton, two first-class cricketers. That's a wide.
There's a bit of welcome to the SCA, Clive.
Oh, there you what. Clive's got a smile on his face. He's an energetic, busy individual on the sporting field. The periscope was up. The ball was even higher.
Downton will be saying to him very shortly, how many first-class games have you played, Clive? This is my fish pond, buddy.
Well, he's shortened his run up now, Downton, but his pace is still good.
Oh, he's still bending that back.
This has been a nice over. There's been, after what you could only say a mildly sloppy start from Andrew Downton, not just from him as well. There was fielding mistakes and boundaries down the ground. Nice cricket shots from Clark and Austin. He's come back, sucking in some air, and he's produced 2 wickets in his next 2 overs.
He's showing his class.
Tell you what, there's a little bit extra in that arm at the moment. There's a bit of life left in the wily veteran.
He's actually getting better with age. He went through that part where he was a bit plateaued there, still winning premierships.
Yeah.
But now it's the fittest he's been in a long, long time.
Did he play down the channel for a little while as well?
No, he been at Wellington probably 8 years, 9 years. Went out to Brighton there for 1 season, then he came back. So since he left Lindisfarne, he's been here. He's been playing in premiership after premiership. He's like Dan Christian of 2020 in the SCA, old Downton is.
He's going to just look for local franchise cricket teams around Tasmania to ply his trade. Well, he's playing it very nicely at the moment, and he's got Clark on 59. Oh, you look for the Yorker again.
Beautiful bowling there, Downton.
Well, that's how good Clark's playing. They just casually knocks it out.
Yeah. Leans on the bat, saying, "Oh, Clive, I'll take this. You just have a rest."
And that Clark, also quite used to playing turf cricket, came down and did a bit of gardening just then on it's a bit of synthetic. And I tell you what, if I was an in-ring fielder, I might just be chirping at him, telling her, "Hey, mate, you can't garden."
We should try and do the key test on the pitch. See if there's any moisture.
These clever, very clever grade cricketers and first-class cricketers just keeping the same rhythms.
Oh, another no ball.
Oh,
and Clive's going to get the free hit.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think I've seen a little bit of Down. I haven't seen a stack, but I just don't think the no ball's a thing for him. Maybe trying to.
Might be the umpires that don't call him. They just don't look down there because they're too busy worried about the other end where
maybe
you need it.
Well, Paul's just having a chat. He's telling him, you keep overstriding. Muir's coming down and checking. Can we get a replay on that last delivery, Jarrah? I know we're probably not going to see the line because of the angle we've got here,
but Nathan shouldn't be there. Umpires made the call for no ball.
Yeah, keep that angle there would have been.
Well, it looks over.
I mean, I can't tell. I mean, how can we tell? Paul Doran's in the best position, 100%. And I don't think you need to be arguing too much, but I'm just wondering what sort of conversation you're going. What is he saying? Don't bowl no balls? Or please get another wicket? What's the strategy here, Chris?
I think Down's probably thinking that Doran doesn't like him.
That's
all it's coming down to.
He's going, he doesn't like me. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's a grudge at the moment. I think his left foot is extending past the white line, which he's meant to stay behind. And it's a simple rule. And it's a costly one with Clive Rose to face a free hit.
This could be one here. He could actually run in very close to the umpire and just slightly elbow onto elbow. Yeah, sorry, I'll get a bit close there. Do apologise. I'll go back and try again.
Well, he's going around the wicket. It's going to be hard to nudge the umpire coming from that direction for a left arm. So
that's interesting. You can't... because they swapped sides,
the batters have swapped, so you can
I wonder if that could happen. If his batsman stayed on strike, if he could come around the wicket.
Potentially can also put a mother band on the leg side too with this angle. Rose will try and hit there. That's exactly where Rose's head.
Nice.
Unbelievable. Well, it's going to reach the fence.
Oh, bitch, that was beautiful to watch.
I tell you what, Chris, every time Andrew Downton's bowling, stuff is happening in the field. There's a bunch of things going on. That guy there is trying to watch his watching Duff TV there on the phone by the look of it. And let's see this replay. He was always going to hit it to leg.
That's nice.
Gracious.
Picked up well.
How's he got it there?
He's known as a bowler, but the guy can bat.
Oh no, he's whacked some good sixes in the big stuff. Back end here, 136 is a chase total, so 40 runs will do it. There's now more discussions going on between the umpires here.
We're talking about no balls here.
What about the rule, or about how he's adjudicating it? What aspect of it? Or are they going through maybe how many overs are being bowled?
He's not happy down. There is steam blowing out of his ears here.
Well, Muir's come in. He's a pretty calm customer, Muir. I don't know him particularly that well, but I feel like he wouldn't be going in there unless it was unnecessary. And he's got some support here, Downton, from his captain.
Yeah, it should not be happening though. Like, if they're making a call at the bowling crease, it's the officiating umpire's call. The captain has nothing to do with it. He can ask sort of questions.
Yeah, I mean,
this is just dragging on.
Obviously, now it feels like they're wasting time, but I can't understand. I mean, this is a fairly simple metric, isn't it? Your foot goes over the line and we call a no ball. I'm just wondering what else they could be discussing here.
Unless something's been said out there by a player, because this is the only reason you'd have two umpires converging like this, talking to the captain. So whether there's a yellow card, a report, or something like that, which from our point of view, it didn't look like anything untoward.
Yeah, unless there's been something within here. But there's a lot of conversation going at the moment. You're on Duff TV. Aaron Peach Roberts, Chris Hobson here in the Duff TV van. SCA T20 Grand Final. We just might quickly go back through what's happened so far this afternoon. Webb hit it off with a nice 42 off 32 balls. He batted really well, but they lost wickets constantly. Cornish getting a couple. Rose picked up one. Paul, the off spinner, picked up another. 5 down, and at that stage they only had 53 on the board when Webb disappeared. Then it was a good partnership between Manson and Phillips, the two spinning all-rounders. Phillips running hard. Phillipsen tried to get one down the ground, got out. A couple of lusty blows from Manson at the end, but it was a score of only 3 4s from batters other than Webb. Really stopped any momentum going. 135 was a score after their 20 overs. And good rapport going around. And early on, 16 off the first over from Andrew Downton. The blusty blows of Clark, a couple of good ones from Austin. Austin went from Phillips trying to hit a full toss. Paul went a little while ago. Brasendale followed him, both being cleaned up by Downton. So we've got 3 for 95. I think it says 96 on our scorecard. We'll just ensure that one's right here. Finally, after about a 6 or 7 minute delay, Isaac Manson's coming into the attack. So we're not sure it is controversial because we spent about 6 minutes with Muir, Downton and both umpires having an in-depth conversation. I couldn't work it out though what it was all about. There was some no balls in the last Downton over. We might find out after the fact. So Clark on 60. Geez, would he have a little dip here at a century? I mean, if he gets most of the strike, the way he's being hitting it, Chris, he'd be a bit of a smoky.
He's a chance.
He needs to face most deliveries and do most of the scoring, but it'd be a fair effort.
Clive, there is...
No, well, I think that's why he's wearing the black plimsolls, isn't he? So he can make a mark on the floor. Now, he can't wear them in any gym anywhere in a school. You'll get him in trouble.
It does make that nice little squishy sound, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that did make a great sound as that ball was outside edge from the bat of Clive Rose.
Maybe he's just embarrassed to bend down, scratch it with a bit of chalk.
Yeah, well, maybe he wasn't a big fan of school, and chalk brings back bad memories for Clive.
Oh,
tell you what, it's going to bring back bad memories for Kobe Phillips. One of the better fielders out there. It's gone through his fingers, and the Wellington Warriors can little afford to have simple fielding mistakes made. After a null in play, maybe Kobe was waiting for some action. You want to see in the replay what is a bit of a mistake from him and an easy boundary for Clive Rose.
Knights weren't the best in the field, but Wellington is worse at the moment. They need to pick it up. Just didn't get down there close enough, Kobe.
Jamming that one out for a single, but it's looking unlikely at the moment. 3 down the Knights. Tell you what, it'd be fire if Downton comes. Will he bowl another over here? I mean, the only option is to get another wicket.
It was a quick over.
They've got to get Clark out of the attack and get him back in the sheds. Rose is obviously capable of hitting some boundaries, but they need another wicket here. And I think it is. Downton's coming over. He's got his towel in his left hand. Now he
I don't
moves
think
it
he's
to the
bowling.
right. I think he's going past.
Burgess bowling.
Going to be Burgess. Well, I'm intrigued by this. They need a wicket. They need to win it, as I mentioned in the last over, in the next 12 balls. And they've got 6 more balls, really. Maybe 10 or 12 at the best to try and find another 1 or 2 wickets. They need it. They need an old-fashioned collapse.
They do. When Burgess going for 22 in his first over, he needs to come back strong here. He's going to have all the players, all the spectators behind him, which are starting to thin out a little now.
I think they're trying to find some sunshine as they...
Maybe it's time for a refreshment. They're back in there for a nice little cold frothy.
Maybe they're waiting for when the Knights come back in. At the moment, Clive Rose and Clark, 2 experienced cricketers at the crease.
I reckon they're in there to see Muzz, the best bartender in the competition.
A ripper, isn't he?
He's a brilliant guy. Put your cider in the freezer for you, keep it nice and cold on a hot day. You can't get any better.
So back end of this chase, 136 is the total. The Knights 3 for 101. We're only halfway through the bowling innings as Burgess and the stern bat, and in the end another misfield and another single.
It's just looking like the Warriors are they've had enough.
Like
there's no urgency out there. Like the fielding is not clean. They need someone to take a good catch, or I thought Down would have brought him up there. 2 wickets he got, but it just sort of didn't rise them.
I mean, it all disappeared because he then argued with the umpire for another 5 minutes, and any momentum they got from that wicket was lost. And now all they know, both these batters, is knock singles. Clark gets a not out, gets best on ground in a grand final. And he I think they'd still do the shot of a beer in the bar there, so he'll be doing that. And Bob Girani at the moment, we do feel like that. The Warriors are going through the motions just a fraction as they feel it's going to be a little bit hard from here as Burgess. And at some stage, Chris, they'll have to bring this field up, won't they, to say, well, you've got to hit out.
Hit over it. You know, we'll back our bowlers in to put the pressure on. And if you want to hit over the top, go for it. Just take your 2 out like you do on the power play.
Yep.
They've got nothing to lose.
Yep, absolutely.
They need to take the wickets, and they're not going to happen this way. It's just easy cricket.
Oh, tell you what, that was coming our way
Stopped that
too.
well.
That was delightful at the bat, and I reckon long on and long off, we're going to have to do a little bit of work to ensure that one was going to be stopped. A little bit more space down here, the southern end of the ground, to try and protect, but...
He's not a small boy, old Ash Burgess. He got down pretty well for that
He did all right, didn't he?
It's a big unit.
Would have liked a few more lusty blows from Burgess at the back end. He didn't get a lot of the strike. Only need just 1 or 2 more overs to get himself settled. That's the inside edge. That's out. Burgess has got it. So we called for Downton. Muir's brought Burgess in, and look at Muir. He's trying to get his players up.
And that's Clark gone. That's the wicket they wanted.
And to tell you what, Burgess needs to go. He might be cramping, but there needs to be more celebration from him. Muir's the only one here. Webb's trying to get some action going as well, but...
Get them all in there. Get the boys up.
Absolutely. Downton comes in and cramping up. Cramping up in a T20 game. It's 19 degrees, but Burgess just struggling maybe with a little injury there. And we'll just see the little inside edge. We could hear it from here. He was going down the ground. He was going for a big blow.
Good catch by Muir.
Yeah, not an easy one to take. A fine innings.
Could that be a match-winning innings? Time will tell.
4 for 104 here. There's Cornish in. Clark going off for a half century. He made it in good time. He's getting some nice applause from the crowd.
This could be interesting with Cornish out there. He only knows one way, going hard. As I said last year when they beat Wellington in the 2020, he'd scored like nearly 70 runs off 20 balls. He doesn't need that in this innings. He just needs to support Clive Rose out there. And if they can do that, the Knights are going to be lifting the cup at the end of the day.
Well, 62 runs off 38 deliveries, 5 boundaries into the rope, and 5 disappeared over the rope, and not just over the rope, over the fence, over the road, into cars, into buildings. It was entertaining stuff from Matt Smith.
That's why if you don't get the chance to watch it on Duff TV, you've got to be here to watch these games.
You've got to come down, don't you? Absolutely. Still a good spattering of spectators here on a Thursday afternoon in January. Kids still on the holiday. Most of us have trekked back to work this week. It was a bit tough day for me on Monday, rocking back up to work. As Cornish getting ready to into action. Burgess on strike. Give it a slip, Muir.
And the field's come in a little bit now.
Yeah, they've snuck in a couple. Another extra player inside the ring field. So 6 inside the ring, not including the bowler and keeper. You can bowl at the stumps, Burgess, with this field. Just long off in place. Long on's inside now, so straight, maybe nudging towards off stump. Aim for a bold. And now even long off is, in fact, that's the end of the Burgess over. It was successful. There's 12 gone, 404. So Clive Rose, effervescent cricketer. He's made a few starts in this T20 competition,
Tell you what though, if Wellington actually put together a few good overs here where they're not scoring any more than 3 or 4, it's going to come on to the last few overs where the pressure's going to be on about 6 and over, 7 and over, and then anything can happen. All the experience of Wellington that actually can win premierships.
Yeah, they know about winning premierships, don't they?
Get over the team of the Knights that they've won a lot of lower grade premierships.
Yep.
But this would be their first grade flag of any sort.
This is their first real attempt in a first grade final for them, isn't it? So Manson, it'll be a story, wouldn't it? They get a win here. Manson.
100%.
A fair way from us bowling, well, a fair way from the batter, but not a wide. So we've got 7 overs left here into, I think, yeah, we've got 12 on the thing. It's 17, 13 gone, Chris, I think, on our overs. Making sure we get all that set up. Just waiting that one to save onto our screen. It's now Cornish on strike. It does say 12 overs, actually 13. There's a little technical glitch on the Duff TV.
Internet's going a bit slow here.
Yep.
So we're actually at 13.1 overs. There we go, just clicked over.
Hey.
Thanks, Jerry. Now
So
where's
back,
Cornish going to
so
go in?
he's going round the wicket now. He'll throw him in a bit quicker. I reckon he's an LB chance here. No, he's trying to aim in at that body.
The sun's gone, it's got a bit overcast now. Is it going to be a bit harder for him to pick the ball up?
Yeah, the ball's still okay. You certainly wouldn't want to be facing a red ball around about now, would you?
And they're getting through the overs very quickly. Build the pressure
Yeah,
up.
we lost a bit of time. It's 7:45 now, isn't it? What's the finish time? Was it meant to be 8? I feel like we're a little bit over time at the moment. If this is going the distance inside the field, and that's a top bit of fielding. Kept that down to only the 1. Might have been Phillips there trying to make up for a miss a couple of overs ago. So back end here, Duff TV, SCA T20 Grand Final for 2000 and 2021. Wellington, the big favourites, up against the upstart Knights. And Kobe Phillips, that's what happens when you miss field, mate. You've got to run an extra 190 metres. I think he actually put his hand up for it. He's now going out to deep cover. And, there's a little inside edge that's gone down towards the boundary.
Well, down, cut it down.
Well, down, I don't think
he's sort of give it up, and it's going to stop.
It's going to stop a half a metre from the right. He'll use every moment here, Doughton.
Yeah.
That's excellent. And the sun just
Great
jumping
chase.
back.
And the sun's back.
Sun came back just as the ball was coming back too, right in the sun of Muir, or right into the eyes, I should say, of Muir. A little delicate, and he copped a bit of advice too. Andrew Doughton, both positive and potentially a little negative as he was going down to field that one. The ultimate teaser, wasn't it?
It was. And 14 overs go. Well, Knights are 4 for 108. 6 overs to go, 28 runs to get.
Yeah, we might just keep verbalising that score because our scoreboard's taking a little while to tick over. You can go to the SCA website or to My Cricket if you're watching at home to keep an eye on our scores. Probably just a couple of balls behind. Let's hope it doesn't get too close. We've got Burgess, who's stretching in the last over. Got an inside edge on the bat of Clark to claim his first wicket. He's into his 3rd over as he shields the sun to ensure that he's got his long off in the right spot. As now the 3rd player comes into the ring under the offside, and the long off wanders back to the fence. Got a long one in place as well. Still a bit of space for Rose down the ground. And at the moment, both happy with just a few singles. I reckon that should be the play, really, isn't it here, Chris? Just
all they need.
Knock the singles and maybe a couple of boundaries just to finish it off. Although my thoughts of Cornish, he generally swings the bat pretty hard at most cricket balls.
He'll go hard. Clive's got him in his ear, saying this is all we need. Just get it through this way.
So you reckon Clive's trying to calm Cornish down?
It depends how much he knows him.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. Yeah.
They need Clive next year. So Clive, give up your Kingbrook contract, mate. Come out to the Knights.
Yeah, Clive is pretty happy. He's played a fair bit of T20 cricket. He knows what the game's all about.
Oh,
there's that swing.
That's going to go for 4.
That's just not fair, is it? It's just not happening.
You bowl a ball like that, and that happens.
Well, if they had the slip in it, at least would have probably gone to them along the ground. But at a bottom edge, I feel like that's as unlucky as you're going to get. Bottom edge, clearly beaten.
On the replay.
Yeah.
Probably more the gully sort of regions, but
yeah, it's frustrating for the bowler, isn't it?
On the ground. Straight to the blue hat.
Tell you what, they'll take that. Once they get it under 20, this could happen in a hurry if he keeps swinging like that, Cornish. Burgess back in.
He wants to unleash.
Tell you what, Cornish was the key with the ball. Those 2 wickets in and over. He turned things around when Webb and Co were trying to accelerate at the top of the innings. Cornish came in steady first over, good next, and then the double wicket over.
It's definitely going to be an interesting for the player of the match. Cornish on one hand, the way he bowled.
Well, Cornish whacks a few more boundaries. I think in low-scoring games, because you always tend to think towards the bowling side, and that's probably fair enough, but Clark's innings
was special.
It was a ripper.
That's a good shot by Rose.
That's going to go close to a boundary from Clive Rose, and yes, it does reach the white line. Lovely neat shot from Clive Rose with the lovely golden helmet on. The canary yellow, is it, Jerry? Is that canary yellow? Yeah,
it's Australian gold, my friend.
Australian gold, yeah. So he's got the colour chart, Jared, for all cricket helmets. Thanks to Martin Duffy and Jero. They did a lot of work to get this game set up.
We're now down to 18 runs.
And thanks to you, Chris, too. You were here a lot earlier than I had to rush from work. Had a busy day at work today and got here about half an hour beforehand. I know you've done a lot of research into this game. You've live and breathe your Southern Cricket Association. Still a little bit of work to do from the Knights at 4 for 119 in the 15th over. With a chase of 136, Cornish and Rose finding easy the boundary, and the singles aren't coming with too much discomfort either, as Burgess into the big fast bowler. Oh,
ooh, well bowled.
Not a bad option. And that's the end. So, back end, we're in the last third. It might happen fairly quickly. 15 gone.
Score is 4 for 119. 17 runs to get for a Knights well-deserved victory.
Quite an effort this from the Knights, though. I mean, they've come up through. They've, you know, a sort of, in a way, a sort of newish sort of club, and different places they've played their cricket. I think they only started off maybe with one team many years ago. I think they've increased their numbers, and now they've worked their way up into the first grade competition through the relegation system and some other machinations to allow them to play first grade, and they're looking to get some silverware as Manson to continue from the showground end of the ground, and a single for the first ball from Clive Rose. Yeah, so I think the conversation now is who's going to hit the winning runs, but the man of the match, we've got a few decent options, but I think at the moment for me, Clark is sitting at the top. I think Cornish, only bowled a 3 overs, Cornish too. Paul was good, a few runs, 1 for 20. He also played a critical role in those middle overs. A run out in, 2 run outs in there. Well, you've got to throw in 2 run outs from Clive Rose, although partly assisted run outs. There's Burgess trying to mow that one out towards mid-wicket.
He wants to get it done this over.
16 to go.
Old Cornish to get a bit thirsty, I think. Well bowled there by Isaac. Sort of taking the next step this year, Isaac.
He's good, isn't he?
He's captain
Yeah.
of North Hobart's second grade team. So he's taking on the leadership role.
Well, he's only got one way at the moment, Cornish, and that is Mo with the Victor lawnmower to deep mid-wicket. I actually reckon we need a lawnmower. Actually, seems like an appropriate sponsor for
Would be good, wouldn't it?
a cricketing competition. In the way Cornish is going, we could certainly, he could be the face of some mowing company out there, as that's gone through the off, and that's
There's a
there's
single
fielder
out
out
to
there.
cover.
I was leaning out towards the window there. We've got the ladder in the way, and I couldn't see the fielder. I thought finally Cornish had had some success. Yeah, the big club of the SCA Wellington on their home turf with all their stars minus Ben Beams have been duped as
That's a
that
great
swept
shot.
away. Brilliant by Rose. And a lovely Knights Rose from him. And a boundary off the last ball of the over. And 125 the score. And we're nearly into single digits with this chase.
It's picked up well. One bounce over the fence into the Origin sponsors banner.
Yeah, they've got a bit of orange around it. I don't think the Tas housing places over there are actually a sponsor, but they've got the orange on their facades too.
Great paint job from what it used to look like. It's like 5-star housing over there now.
It might not be quite as nice inside, or they may be down up inside as well.
So who we got here? Kobe Phillips to bowl this over.
So Phillips with his slingers up against Cornish.
I think
But
Cornish would be hoping this is the last over.
11 to win. 4 overs left, plenty of deliveries, 11 off 24. That's all the story. That's the metrics for this grand final. They're certainly advantageous numbers. And they're going to be even more advantageous if Kobe Phillips continually bowls wide. So 10 to go, 24 balls left. Leg side is a chance. And there's a bit of space. Oh no, they've got a fielder going back as, there we go, it's a bit of a peel from Muir. It did actually
come straight off the middle of the bat
I
there.
reckon he hit his bat and then flicked his pad. Muir's saying, did that just tickle his pad there? We might just get a little replay of that one. Felt the bat
So
was a,
straight off the middle of the bat
I think the bat was a key component of that.
with no power though.
There you go. Well, he's marking the pitch again. The reason, Clive, you keep doing that because your little black plimsolls actually aren't making any indentation into the cement, the synthetic turf.
I reckon these are dancing shoes.
I reckon
He'll be out in the circuit
the
tonight. with his
mustard,
Premiership medallion.
the mustard pot. Both Chris and I got our hands there because G-Man, the pots and pans, keeps flinging notes in our face. I feel like I keep getting told off, Jero. Scobie Phillips has been told off a few times, a couple of misfields. He's had up and down game. He's been involved. He got the early wicket. He had a little partnership. He's bowled his normal little flatties that are very hard to score off. And you could just feel that the cold, refreshing beverage that's sitting in the club rooms here at Warrior Park on Eady Street is going to taste a little better for the team in orange and black in only a few moments' time.
Mid-wicket for 6.
Yeah, we keep thinking it. He's got to do it eventually. He does a little dinky shot. We don't know anything about Cornish. He's going to get a couple, though. Someone's yelled out on the arm, Corn. I think he's happy with 2. So moments away here until the Knights an historic and famous victory in the SCA T20 Grand Final. You've seen it all here on Dove TV. Once again, thank you very much to the SCA sponsors, the Cricket Hub, Good Sports, Kookaburra. There they are, and Bendigo, bigger than a bank. Going round the wicket now. And another little tickle.
Might get another 2 here.
He's teasing
No,
us.
he's happy with a single.
He's teasing us, Cornish, isn't he? He's going to maybe leave it to the next over. I think that's done for... No, he's got one more to go here. We did have a 7-ball over, I think, in that last inning, so I counted 6.
Let's see if Clive can bring it up with a 4 or 6 here to get the victory for the boys.
I feel like it deserves it, doesn't it?
It does.
It started with so
They've
much
all come
action. Here they come. Well, it's set up for a Clive special. I think
Reverse sweep, Clive.
Oh, the little paddle to something.
Look at the big smile on his face.
Something, Clive. Give us something here, Kobe Phillips.
There it is.
Smack down the ground. Clattering down into the rope. And that is it. Clive Rose has hit the winning boundary, as is often the case without a really good scoreboard. Teams don't always know in Southern cricket, but you have one. Clive Rose has hit the winning runs. Score is 136. Yes, you're right, Glenorchy. Your team has won. The Knights have done it. They are the champions in the SCA T20 Grand Final, even if they don't know it yet. There they go. Handshaking all around. And we called it lusty blow. It did finish. What an effort here from the Knights. An historic victory, Chris Hobson.
That was a brilliant win from the boys from Collinsvale. Right. They were this year asked to come up the first grade in the 50 over competition. They had no hesitation in coming up. So it's a good reward for these guys. And it's hopefully one day they might be able to keep these other guys from the CTPL to come and play in the 50 over competition to strengthen their competition and see if they can be a bit more competitive. But all kudos to them today. They played really well. They bowled excellent. Batted amazing. Clark at the top of the innings. Cornish with the ball. Take nothing away from them. Wellington just wasn't their day today, but they will definitely bounce back, and you know they're always going to be thereabouts.
Oh, absolutely. There's a super side, Wellington. It's been a really great afternoon. Once again, thanks to everyone who's been involved in supporting both these teams, and thanks to the SCA for bringing the Duffettes along, but 62 from Clark at the top is Chris Hobson. Once again, Chris, thank you very much. You're off to do the presentation, mate. Great job from you. Great insights from the VP of the Southern Cricket Association. Man lives and breathes and tastes cricket, particularly at this level. Clark, 62, as I mentioned, off 38 deliveries with 5 boundaries and 5 sixes was a key. Austin rock and rolled a bit. A nice little innings at the back end from Clive Rose with 5 boundaries from in off 19 balls for his 32. Cornish was wonderful along with Paul with the ball. Marr came back with a wicket at 1 for 14. But I really think Clark's going to go a long way here to winning this best and fairest banner. A ripping game. Don't go anywhere on Tough TVs. The Knights have done it. They've won the T20 SCA Grand Final here at Eady Street. They've beaten the favourites, the upstarts from just under the mountain of Collinsvale as their home ground, where there's more snakes than cricket action at times. They've come down the mountain. And here they come to Wellington and Eady Street. And they've got the victory. Deserved victory. Congratulations. Don't go anywhere. Aaron Peach Roberts, thanks for viewing here on Duff TV. Don't go away for presentations soon here of the T20 SCA Grand Final.
Clive can bring it up with a 4 or 6 here to get the victory for the boys.
I feel like it deserves it, doesn't it?
It does.
It started with so
They've
much
all come
action. Here they come. Well, it's set up for a Clive special.
Reverse sweep, Clive.
Oh, the little paddle to something.
Look at the big smile on his face.
Something, Clive. Give us something here, Kobe Phillips.
There it is.
Smack down the ground. Clattering down into the rope. And that is it. Clive Rose has hit the winning boundary, as is often the case without a really good scoreboard. Teams don't always know in Southern cricket, but you have one. Clive Rose has hit the winning runs. Score is 136. Yes, you're right, Glenorchy. Your team has won. The Knights have done it. They are the champions in the SCA T20 Grand Final, even if they don't know it yet. There they go. Handshaking all around. Well, the Knights are on top here. They need less than a run of ball at the moment. 64, 1 wicket down. They can actually afford just to see out Farrelly here. 5.5 and over required. What a start! What a huge! That's bombed.
A mile. That's hitting the car. That has hit the car.
Oh, whoops a daisy.
That's windscreen.
And that lady down there, or lass or lad, or whoever it is, they are going for shelter.
Call windscreens O'Brien for that one.
Scrubby's in front of the band. Oh, that sort of angle. Yeah. So you guys there, I'll bring you up. We come into your home. I prefer it when I'm collecting them. I'll wait for about 6 weeks. I'll see you in 2. Where do you want me, Oliver? Just wherever we're going to, probably there. Yep. Wait for a few more to get in.
Why do you got your wraparounds on today?
Tell me what?
Oh, yeah.
Only when I'm playing cricket. Hey guys, thanks for everyone turning up today. Both teams have put on an absolute spectacle of a game. To both teams, well done on getting to the final of the T20 SCA finals. As you both know, this year you were both going to the the Hurricanes League statewide 2020 comp against the Huon Premiership players and the runners-up. Knights, you guys will play their runners-up. Wellington will play their champions. First of all, I'd like to thank all the sponsors for the SCA, Kookaburra, the Cricket Hub down at Kingston, Bendigo Bank, the Good Sports Association. The association is committed to the health and well-being of all affiliated clubs, its players, its volunteers, officials, families and supporters. The SCA is committed to providing a supportive environment for those suffering from mental health issues and encourages clubs to remove any stigma associated with mental health illness to stay connected with people. So in the day, speak up and stay chanty. To the Wellington Cricket Club, Ian Marshall and all your volunteers, thank you very much. You guys have put on an absolute spectacle again. You guys should be congratulated for everything you guys do. To the scorers, the coaches of both teams, what you guys do to get players up and running for each game is amazing. And the volunteers, without you guys, these things wouldn't happen. To the Glenorchy Council, thank you for getting the ground in excellent condition. I'd like to call Nathan Muir up just to say a few words. Thanks, Nathan.
Firstly, to the umpires, thank you. Without the game, you're not here, so thank you for that. To our guys, it just didn't go away. You know, we fielded balls bouncing this way, balls bouncing that way. It's T20 cricket. You know, a couple of guys got away from us. Always going to be hard when they've got, you know, 4 TCA players playing for them, you know, but that's cricket. Tonight's, enjoy it, celebrate it. That's awesome, in first grade, so well done. Well done to you guys.
Thanks, Nathan. With every game, we would not have the game without the umpires. So I'd like to call the 2 umpires, Andrew Smith and Paul Doran, to come forward to collect their medallions. Now, it was such a great game today. We had a lot of standout performances. Andrew Cornish with the ball probably turned it in the Knights' favour in the Wellington innings with him a couple of wickets. Andrew Downton, who came back and took them a couple of wickets at the end there in their innings. But the player of the match, as voted by the umpires, goes to the Knights opener, Matty Clark, for that unbelievable innings at the top of the order. All right, just say a few words.
Thank you very much. Firstly to Wellington, you guys have obviously been the benchmark of this competition for a long time now. So commiserations today, but I'm sure you guys will bounce back. To the Knights boys, I know how much this means to you guys as a club. So make sure you enjoy it tonight, get around each other. Thanks to the umpires, thanks to everyone who helped put this competition on. It's a great spectacle, to all the volunteers and everyone involved in getting these things underway. Thank you very much.
Now the part the Knights boys have been waiting for. We'll call you forward to grab your medallion. Start at the top, Tommy Austin. Shane Apton. Justin Richardson. Clive Rose. Bring back player of the match, Matty Clark. Damien Paul. Anthony Marr. Andrew Cornish. Chris McConnell. 12th man, Brock Duffin. Bring out the coach, Matty McConnell. Just waiting. Just waiting. And I'll bring up the captain, Mark Bresendale.
Thanks very much to Mitch and the boys. Whether you know it or not, we actually aspire pretty hard to be a club like yours with a great culture and a great winning culture. And already in first grade, I think we've built a pretty good rivalry with you blokes, so I hope we continue that. Thanks to the umpires, Andrew and Dawsey. Thanks to the association. The Thursday night competition I thought's been really good, so thank you very much. And lastly, congratulations to the Knights boys. It certainly means a lot. Thank you.
Say let's say.
No one those.
Now we just present the Premiership Cup and the trophy to the two captains and coaches, and congratulations guys, well done, 2020 Premiers.
Thank you. Let's get some photos, yeah, nice job.
Thanks, boys.
No, I've got it.
There's that short boundary straight away. It's going to be on here, and that's a boundary to kick it off.
It's straight to his bread and butter. Anything square of the wicket on the offside, especially over covers, Webb will punish him.
On this ground in the right conditions, so the Knights are going to have to be on their game early. As you said, Hobbo just drifting onto the legs. There's a chance for a run out, and I think he might have given him. And there is the arm in the air. So a mix-up at the bowler's end. He pushed, he took off straight away. May have been ball watching. And Clive Rose in his follow-through zipped across the wicket. And as easy as ever, side on, took the stumps down, the first wicket's down, and that is exactly what the Knights needed.
Exactly, great start.
Looked at this matchup, Rose, Farrelly, could be interesting. Webb on strike.
That's a cracking shot through covers.
Well, that is, I've seen a bit of Webb bat. I reckon that's classic Webb, isn't it? Maybe that long off's a better off. Oh, he's given him. Well, I thought that might have been a little bit high.
I'd like
Clive
to see a replay on that
Rose
one.
was very exuberant, and Farrelly is gone. Good lengths. It's obviously setting the right fields, but Vaughan is showing some experience at the moment.
Oh, he's got him. Caught behind. He is bowling absolutely amazing, the Corns.
Well, I just wanted that little nibble away. That extra bounce we talked about in his first over. And so, steady the ship time, you'd think.
Right here. Oh, he's got another one.
Oh, their
There's
army's
another one.
raising. Cornish
He's
is
on fire.
absolutely buzzing. And he's just run the fastest 14 metres he's done in his life. And he's got 2 in an over. And the massive wicket of Quarrelly out without troubling the scorers. Just getting the field set here. Early stages SCA Grand Final. Knights are on top thanks to a Cornish double.
There we go, straight for cover again.
There's a quality of Webb. Second boundary through that area. Flied it a little bit. And 4 bits, and they'll enjoy that. That'll keep the momentum going. Around that deep mid wicket area. As the first ball's going out to that deep cover, but that is magnificent. Gee, I reckon that's the 3rd boundary through that exact spot, Hobbo.
It is, they're just not waking up to the shot he plays.
Short side and the slopey side towards the Village Cinemas here at Eady Street. Now that's going to have to be cut off because that is rocketing off the wood that Webb is holding and smashes in front of the wet area there. That made a beautiful sound.
And that is...
A lot of them aren't particularly wide, and if you try and throw it too far and wide, it can often hit the turf.
Yes. That's 6. That's over.
Oh, just missing 2 cars. The bus has left the vicinity, and we have been warning the people travelling up and down. If you're listening somehow to Dove TV and you think you're going to come up towards Chapel and towards Glenorchy, just be aware there's some action and Webb is on strike.
Yeah, probably the longest boundaries are straight wicket, like even the one down here towards the van here. It's a good hit. If you're going to clear the boundary here, you hit it probably at least 80 to 90 metres.
High, very high, and that's massive. Well, I just felt that mid-wicket fence was an option. Just thought that Webb was going to try and find the car park here at Eady Street, and all he did was find a fielder's waiting hands. And that's it. There's those 2 fielders, thanks to Martin Duffy there listening in. And we've got a bit of coverage on the offside and down the ground, but yeah, an extra fielder inside the circle. Just keep those singles down. That's not going to help.
Massive.
Hello, that's gigantic.
That's roof. That's on the subway roof.
Well, if you ordered some sort of roll at Subway, you might have just got a cricket ball landed in it. And I'm not sure what yeah, trying to find the main road there, Manson. Richardson's good length at the moment. There's that good length again. That's hit high, wide, and out towards the straight mid-wicket fence and crashes
4 runs
into that aforementioned bit of metallic coverage there. The police car on strike them up.
Yeah, they'll be hoping at least a minimum a boundary and over the Knights.
Well, I think he's gone. Well, I reckon we've missed
He's
that.
bowled him.
Yeah, no, I just missed
Straight
it.
through the
You
gate.
saw the celebration. Kobe actually started running off the ground like he was going for a single.
I thought it was just educated down to 3rd man.
And unfortunately, front near that light tower. Manson goes exactly where? Exactly where's it? Clyde Rose knew what he's doing. There's a chance here at the bowler's end, and Clyde Rose could get it.
He's got it, I think.
I think
That's another
he's run him
perfect
out. Clive Rose has 2 run-outs. Burgess looks very disappointed. He looked out. He's looked back at the umpire. Clive Rose, little backhander onto the stumps. Burgess looked like he was struggling the whole time.
That's his Victorian indoor cricket days coming out from Clive Rose. There. Look away throw.
Think that again. High.
There's going to be
It's
one.
not timed at all. They're going to get 2. How about that? Well, he smacked the last. It's been a fine innings from Manson. He brought his team back, 54 to him. But overall, is 130 going to be enough? Chris Hobson. In fact, sorry, there's actually a ball left. Trying to work it. Going to go back for a second. There's a shot on here. And he gets through for a couple to end. Thomas did his job, came out and just ran for Manson. Manson in the end did his job with a boundary in that last over, 56 to him. 134 is the final score here. 7 down Wellington. Chris Hobson, is that enough? In the last lot of T20s when we had, I think, 4 in a row at Old Beach last year, it was good fun to chat to.
Oh, no ball straight up.
Well, how about that for a start? 5 off the first. Boundary down the ground. A no ball. There's going to be a free hit. Plenty in the first 30 seconds of this chase.
4 or short. I reckon he might try and hit him in the tit here.
Well, he's
Great
given it a
shot.
whack. Backward a point, smack. 2 boundaries in the over. It's been a mixture from Downton. He's bowled some good deliveries. There's been 2 free hits. One's resulted in a wicket, but it wasn't a wicket, and another, not a lot. A little bit, maybe.
That's going to run. That's going to be 4.
Tell you what, that is flown down the hill, backward a point.
This field is like lightning. It's on the inside, out, or a deep cover and a deep third man.
That's what Burgess has got. Loping stride into the crease.
That's a great shot.
Well, it's better than great,
That's on
Chris.
the hill.
That's a 6 up. It's a glorious cricket shot. Well, he's got
gone
again.
That's over again. Oh, is it? That's another 6.
Yeah.
2 in a row. It's a good start here. That's a cracker. That's a shot of the day from Clark. Straight over cover. 4 bits, 1 bounce over the boundary.
Well, what a start here from Clark. 27 he's raced to.
Won this over, so just get out of it unless it's back in your wheelhouse. And there it is. That is the shot of the day.
Well, he does not bother
straight
settling things down as he smacks a monster down the ground. There's a couple of spectators to our right. They did not move. They could see it. The white ball. He's not worried. Nick's dropped.
He's dropped it.
Well, the opportunity to take a specky Muir. He's already taken 1 good catch off a no ball or a free hit. He's unhappy with himself. I reckon he thought
He'll be a bit sore tomorrow when he gets up. Oh, that's a good shot off his pose for 4 runs.
Well, another boundary, this time from Austin. He's smacked that to leg, a bit of a waft, very effective. So they... Well, that's in there.
That sounded very nice.
Now, there's a player coming around. He might as not be there. He's better be in the car park.
Oh, it's hit Berkey's company car, has it?
It's only just missed mine as well.
Tell you what, that is a cracker of a shot. Bowls is wide. Tommy Austin is going to go straight over cover.
It's not a bad option as well.
Oh.
That could be out.
Oh.
Well, how about that?
The sucker balls picked him up.
The delivery that should not get a wicket does get a wicket. A half track previous, well, 2 balls ago, and then he bowled a loopy one, and then the old full toss, waist height, straight to mid-wicket, and Austin gone.
That should have gone with those.
Well, the Knights are on top here. They need less than a run a ball at the moment. At 64, 1 wicket down. They can actually afford just to see out Farrelly here. 5.5 and over required. What a start! What a huge! That's bombed.
A mile. That's hitting the car. That has hit the car.
Oh, whoops a daisy.
That's windscreen.
And that lady down there, or lass or lad, or whoever it is, they are going for shelter.
Call windscreens O'Brien for that one.
3. In fact, that might be Paul actually a bit further up there. It's Farrell in again. He's going. Flatter. There's a fielder coming around. He should be out.
It has run. 4 bits.
That's that fast boundary just in front of Kobe Phillips. I can tell you what, if anyone was going to save that, it would be Kobe Phillips. But
Like even the ring fielders, they're not in really any good catching positions. They're just there for the one.
Downton maybe needs a bowler. LB.
There's his wicket.
There it is. Downton produces just what the doctor of cricket ordered. And the doctor at the moment is Andrew Downton, and he hit the pegs.
Fisher's knowing the game, knowing the situation of it. He's not going to want to come in and go hammer and tongs because they only need to run a ball, basically.
Well, it's a difference.
So he's not going to take a risk.
Absolutely. The boundaries afloat, haven't they? I mean, much more capacity for
that
another
is nice
monster.
again. That's a car.
Nah, we're okay. We're safe.
Oh,
That might be
window.
Tell you what. Is this ground big enough? Is this meet regulation standards here, Hobby? You're on the... is this? I think it's 50 metres is the minimum ground size for Southern Cricket Association.
See what he's going to do. He's still coming round the wicket to him.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's
flat and
probably
hard.
not a good idea to be doing
And there's
this.
a little lad running around there that nearly lost his drink bottle, his cricket bat. He's only got a plastic one. I reckon the only way that the Wellington Warriors can win this is they swap that bat with Clark, and Clark has to bat with that little plastic bat. Short side, but I suppose that trajectory is a little bit harder to whip it away, especially for the new batter. Oh, he's got him! Is this the turn, the twisted turn of the wormy thing? And the left arm of Downton has struck twice and has sending the captain of the Knights back.
Is that with your boots?
Yeah, do you reckon he grounded out? Even Steve Smith couldn't put a hole in this wicket. So Rose, Downton, two first-class cricketers.
Oh.
That's a wide.
There's a bit of welcome to the SCA, Clive.
Oh, there you what.
again.
Well, he's going around the wicket. It's going to be hard to nudge the umpire coming from that direction for left arm. So
That's interesting. You can't... because they swapped sides,
yeah,
didn't
the
you?
batters have swapped, so you can
I wonder if
swap.
that could happen if his batsman stayed on strike, if he could come around the wicket.
Potentially can also put a mother band on the leg side too with this angle. Rose will try and hit there. That's exactly where
that
Rose
is
is hit.
nice.
Unbelievable. Well, it's going to reach the fence.
Oh, Biss, that was beautiful to watch.
I tell you what, Chris, every time Andrew Downton's bowling, stuff is happening in the field. There's a bunch of things going on.
Yeah, I can scratch it with a bit of chalk.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't a big fan of school, and chalk brings back bad memories for Clive.
Oh,
Tell you what, it's going to bring
that
back
is
bad
shocking.
memories for Kobe Phillips. One of the better fielders out there. It's gone through his fingers, and the Wellington Warriors can little afford to have simple fielding mistakes made.
That's
That's
a
the
nick.
inside edge. That's
He's in
out.
it.
Burgess has got it. So we called for Downton. Muir's brought Burgess in, and look at Muir. He's trying to get his players up.
And that's Clark gone. That's the wicket they wanted.
And to tell you what, Burgess needs to go here. He might be cramping, but there needs to be more celebration from him. Muir's the only one here. Webb's trying to get some action going as well, but
Get him.
out.
Oh,
There's
he
that
loaded
swing.
after that. That's going to go for 4.
That's just not fair, is it? It's just not happening.
You bowl a ball like that, and that happens.
Well, if they had the slip in, at least would have probably gone to them on the ground, but
The way you bowled,
well,
changed
Cornish
the
whacks a
whole...
few more boundaries. I think in low-scoring games, Chris, you always tend to think towards the bowling side, and that's probably fair enough, but Clark's innings
was special.
was a ripper.
That's a good shot by
Tell you,
Rose.
that's going to go close to a boundary from Clive Rose, and yes, it does reach the white line. Lovely neat shot from Clive Rose. Yeah, the big club of the SCA Wellington on their home turf with all their stars minus Ben Beams have been duped as
That's a
that
great
swept
shot.
away. Brilliant by Rose. And a lovely Knights Rose from him.
Let's see if Clive can bring up a 4 or 6 here to get the victory for the
I
boys.
feel like it deserves it, doesn't it?
It does.
It started with so
They've all
much
come in.
action. Here they come. Well, it's set up for a Clive special.
Reverse sweep, Clive.
Oh, the little paddle to
Look
something.
at the big smile on his face.
Something, Clive. Give us something here, Kobe Phillips.
There it is.
Smack
There
down
it
the
is.
ground. Clattering down into the rope. And that is it. Clive Rose has hit the winning boundary, as is often the case without a really good scoreboard. Teams don't always know in Southern cricket, but you have one. Clive Rose has hit the winning runs. Score is 136. Yes, you're right, Cornish. Your team has won. The Knights have done it. They are the champions in the SCA T20 Grand Final, even if they don't know it yet. There they go. Handshaking all around. We called it lusty blow. It did finish